So, good evening, everyone. I hope everybody is doing as great as me. As I start the live, I know a lot of people are over at Brown Sugar Babies live. I was also over there, but they know I am going live at 8:30. You guys can see in the chat that there is members only. It is a members only chat, but it is a public live stream. So everybody will be able to see the live stream. You will not be able to see who is backstage and also who is on the panel because there may be some women who do not want to be seen. Okay. And that is perfectly fine with me. You will be able to speak on the panel, or you can speak backstage if you want to. But again, this is a women's only video. I am going to be having the women of the sector coming up. I have several women that I have invited to the panel, and many women will be coming to speak their speech. And, because there's a lot of men, well, not a lot, but there's a few men, and like I said, we know who they are, who have been.
Can y'all hear me?
Hold on, let me turn Brown Sugar now. She's up now. She finally got their sound back up, but somebody let her know I'm live now. Anyway, hold on a second for the person that came in. For those of you who I have invited up, I've invited a lot of ladies over. There aren't many women in the sector who are not invited to this show. You're certainly invited to speak your speech and say what you need to say, even women who I have not agreed with. There's a couple of women that I have not agreed with in the past that I don't mind having this conversation with. I think I would prefer to have a private conversation with you first. And then, of course, we can go ahead and talk about this, front and center. Also, for men, I may, in fact, open up the panel a little bit later on because I do expect this live to go on for some time. So I do expect the panel to be opened up a little bit so that we can discuss with men too. And I also want to start with the preference that I really truly support the men of this sector. Okay, I want that to be known. I want that to be understood because there's definitely an agenda, quote unquote, per se, out right now to paint the women of the sector like we're trying to divide the sector, and like we're trying to create some type of gender war. And that's not the case. And I'd like to bring up a lot of that information tonight and just kind of talk about some of those things. But that's definitely not the case. The men are certainly welcome here, and to hear you out. Also, I have several men that are members, so you definitely are welcome to speak in the chat. But the purpose of me having it members only in the chat is because I really wanted to make sure that this is a conversation where we are focused on talking to the ladies and allowing the ladies to speak their mind and speak their speech about what is going on with them in this sector. I've been able to be very open with you guys lately in the past couple of videos about how, I've felt about things concerning certain things in the sector, certain men in the sector, and how I've had to navigate that. And, I'm not finished. There's some other things I haven't said that I may say tonight or I may not. But again, I am opening this panel up for the ladies to speak, okay? Because there are way too many niggas out here speaking for us. And I'm just not having that. I am going to play some music for about 10 minutes while you guys file into the room and also while the ladies come up on the panel. Also, like I said, I am going to keep a banner up because there may be some ladies that want to speak anonymously. I know some people do know some people's voices. It's just going to be what it is. But there are ladies who are in the chats that do not come out and speak for the purpose of it always being an issue with, various men. Or being concerned with how they'll be treated if they do come to a panel and talk and stuff like that. I would like those ladies to also talk about how they feel, about what's been going on in the sector and how the trolls have kind of taken over the sector and even seem to be, kind of controlling how people are treated, how men act, how they behave, and everything. So I think it's really important to bring this all up. But again, I want to make it clear that this is not a male bashing panel. I have no intentions of making this into anything like that. And I would really appreciate that no one else does so. We are definitely going to talk about some possibly some very painful things, some very, hurtful things. There may be some things that might be stinging, but that doesn't mean it's disrespectful. And I definitely am well rounded enough to know the difference. So I appreciate the ladies that I have already invited and anyone else that will be joining the show, because I think it's going to be a great show. And I also think it may actually turn into a part two, because there's just so many ladies in the sector that I think deserve to speak their speech. But again, I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of music for you guys while we all go ahead and get ready for the show. For the guest of mine that is on the panel already, I don't know if you want it to remain anonymous or not, but if you do, just let me know that and you can type in the chat anything you want, or you can certainly speak your speech. So, good evening to you and good evening to everybody that is watching. I truly appreciate you guys being here. Definitely wanted to set the record about that. I have intentions of having a very open conversation in regards to choices and in regards to perhaps how the sector has been and why women have dealt with some of the things that they've dealt with. Okay. And I definitely would like to talk about that. Okay. Okay. Well, what's good, Dr. Nikki? I appreciate you being here tonight. How are you?
I am well. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Cool. Cool. Well, let's go ahead and set it off.
Let's set it off. So here's I was really moved lately by, and
Mhm.
I'll tell you guys what really set this off for me. Okay. It actually started a couple months ago, okay, when the song came out about Carrie Ann. That song
Mhm.
itself, um, it wasn't really the song itself. It was more or less how he was talking about her hair and how that was like it just seemed like it was an extended roast, okay?
Mhm.
And I was just really bothered by it. And I felt several times in the sector. I always feel like I can't say too much because if I do, then I'm going to end up getting into this all out brawl with one of these niggas. You see what I'm saying? And
I
I
do.
really don't feel like that. I'm a grown ass woman. Nobody wants to be arguing as a woman. You understand? Like, no woman, real woman, has time or energy to be going back and forth with no man. So I've just tended to not say anything or
Mhm.
tended to just kind of leave off from there and, deal with other parts of YouTube or whatever, and then come back later and find out that people are still doing the same thing.
Right.
So I think when it comes to, little petty catty things, I can
Mhm.
kind of overlook it. But when you're talking about something that affects Black people as a whole, you know what I mean? I really
Mhm.
think Black women as a whole, that's where I can kind of draw the line.
Yeah,
And
hits different.
it's definitely different. Okay. When you're talking about our hair and when you're talking about, some other things. So I think that's what really kind of started it with me. Okay. And
Mhm.
started me kind of looking at and questioning some of the people that whose content I enjoyed. Okay.
Mhm.
And I started to fall back. And I'm sure if they look at it, they would notice that, when I started to fall back from their content.
Mhm.
So as we're going along, now this whole situation comes up and everybody's been going and back and forth with Stargate and stuff. And, to me, I don't really take that as a big deal because she's a woman, I'm a woman. If we're going to go back and forth with each other, that's one thing. But it would be another thing if men are jumping up, to me or jumping in her face over something what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't need any men in the sector to cape for me over Stargate. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need that. So
Right.
if me and Stargate are having some kind of issue or we're beefing about something, quote unquote beefing, you know, men can stay out of that. You feel what I'm trying to say? And well-rounded men, who, at least to me, and this is what my experience with men have been. Well-rounded men who are mature enough to use their discernment tend to understand to stay out of stuff that women are dealing with or that women are going through. You understand what I'm saying? And I just wanted to be sure that I'm not, maybe I'm jumping the gun. Maybe I'm just, a little bit hypersensitive over this, or something like that. But I just think that there's a lot of men that are jumping out of the window over situations that have, well, not a lot, but there's a few men that are jumping out of the window over women's beefs and over women's situations. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. I really don't. What do y'all think?
Well, one, it is a serious issue. It does hit different, and I agree for the most part with the premise of this discussion, in that it does appear that you know men seem to instigate or continue whatever happens between women, for content. And it seems as if, again, men are coming for women in the sector with this vitriol and this, I don't know, uh, vitriol is probably the best word for it. Um, uh,
Yeah.
and language and this targeting, etc. And it's just like, okay, so at one point, well, let me back up. So one thing that Carrie Ann kept saying on her show was this idea about a conflict, and a conflict means that two people had some sort of an agreement, even if even if the agreement is we're going to joke and roast back and forth, and someone doesn't keep to their part or someone crosses some sort of boundary. So for me, it's the boundaries in the sector. If you're joking with me and I come to you and I express that I need you to stop for whatever reason, that should not be your green light for you to go and delve deeper. And then when somebody strikes back, or when the sector says, hey man, why don't you do this? Or hey woman, why are you doing this? Or whatever, or she's not even here, or this, that, and the third. It seems like, okay, you either have to pick a side, just because I don't support, hypothetically, everything T Pre says, it doesn't mean that I'm against T Pre. And even with the way you and I kind of
Right.
met or whatever,
Hmm.
I appreciated your sense of humor in that, you kind of came for me a couple times, but I was like, well, wait a minute, just because I'm laughing at the joke because it was funny, it doesn't mean that I was picking or that I literally said something about you.
Right.
And and we just kind of never really got into it, but we would exchange words. And I always kind of let you know, hey, listen, it's not that I'm against you, and it's not that I don't agree or that I disagree with what's being said or the jokes that are happening with the pictures or whatever. I really don't have an opinion. However, this sector wants to pigeonhole you into one way or another so
Right.
that they can be punitive. So
Exactly.
my thing is, when I came into this sector, I wasn't coming in here to try to find people's shortcomings.
Right.
I was coming in here to chat and enjoy and to network. But this whole thing of, let me pay close attention to what you say and I'm going to regurgitate everything you say. I only listen that closely to stuff that makes me money.
Okay. That part.
So this, and
Right.
you said, and we said, and they said, and then we all said together, and then it's like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't have an adult conversation with someone who is not adulting today. And
Right.
even with the D Darrell situation, since you mentioned it,
Hmm.
the one of the things that I'll say disappointed me with, his relentless rant on this other young lady is that, although Darrell has shit with him, I always consider him on some level to be a gentleman, because when something is a straight up fact, he will say something about it,
Right.
about anybody.
Hmm.
Like when AS was, coming for me and challenging me on this level, my professionalism and this, that, and the third, he was one of the first men to stand up and say, hey, she doesn't have to do this, that, and the third. What are
Oh,
you
was he?
doing?
Okay.
Yes, he was.
He
He
was.
absolutely
Yes.
was. And I
And
thank
you
him
know
for
what?
that.
That's why I've agreed with a lot of things with Darrell. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of things that I can't say all bad things about him. You know what I mean? But it's just the bad things that's been happening lately just kind of outweigh some of that, and it brings out some of the
I
other
have a
things that
theory,
other
y'all.
people have been saying. I
Right.
don't know.
But see, one of the
That's for
other
me though.
things is this whole thing of picking sides, and if you rock with this person, you can't rock with that person. And that was one of the things that I admired about you as a content creator. It's like, okay, you go where you want to go, and and it seems to be, it's like, okay, if you're going to have a problem with me being in this space, then tell me what the problem is so I can tell you why, or why I won't come back, or why I will come here as long as you go live.
Right. Mhm.
And it just really, really takes a lot of so okay, so let me back up and then I'm going to be quiet. So, couple of points. A very punitive environment, so it is very unforgiving with mistakes. It does not want people to grow and evolve, such as some of the comments that you made have shown that you have grown and evolved once you started connecting with other people and seeing other sides to people that you didn't see before. It will
Right.
change the way you see people.
Right.
And things that you may have said as a key, you might be like, well, wait a minute, I can't and I won't because she's not like that.
Right.
Or, dang, I didn't know all I had to do was say I had a channel and she would come over and support me because my channel is not the same as my name.
Right. Hmm.
To give people an opportunity. So we don't have people who want to give people opportunities as far as men getting in women's stuff. You don't give us an opportunity to make up because you keep carrying foolishness live after
Exactly.
live after live. Very, very punitive environment. So it's very unforgiving. Um, and this whole underhand, um, the blatant lies that you tell. For example, I don't care if somebody roasts me because you're not gonna whoop my ass. And at the end of
That's
the day,
right.
that's all I give a fuck about. And this anywhere I go. Can you whoop my fucking ass? If you
That part.
can't, keep talking. Okay. So, but the whole thing with you just spreading lies on me, things that didn't happen, or you're trying to manipulate, something, and put me in a position, as Carrie Ann would say, to challenge my reputation and my character. I'm in this platform under my real name. It doesn't get any more gangster than that.
That's right. That's facts.
So, and you got these people hiding behind avatars and making up all these things or whatever, this, that, and the third. It's like, the fuck? Like, come and face me, human being to human being. Show your face. I show my face. Tell me your name. You know my name.
Nah, I don't agree with that. I don't need to see these bitches' faces.
No,
It's
no,
just
no.
the
I'm
ones who
talking
want to
about
keep
for
trying to
me.
tell the sector they look better than me. That's the ones whose
Right,
face
but
I need to
but
see.
Carrie Ann, it's easy to talk your shit when you have these levels of, or these different layers of anonymity, as opposed to somebody like myself who has been me from day one
Oh, hmm.
and had been, anybody say my name, like, okay, well, what's up? You got something you want to say it to
I'm
me.
just
Don't
saying,
just
it's
say it
not like
about me.
everybody that's anonymous is a coward. Some people just don't
No, and
Well,
I'm
hold
not
speak
on
up.
a
saying
second.
that.
Let me
But a lot of those
before we
people
finish,
who,
Dr. Nikki,
sure.
I want it to be clear one thing, okay? I want everybody to be able to say what their particular space is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this isn't to challenge anyone. Like, if this is what she does and this is works for her, I want her to be able to say that, because that's been part of the problem in this sector. Okay. Part of the problem is, and this is why I'm having this show,
Hmm.
part of the problem is nobody is able to say why or how and what angle they're coming from for why they do things the way they do it, or why they may not be reacting to some man's bullshit. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or why they may not be responding to a man a certain way, or we may not be speaking to these men and putting them in their place. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because that's been the conversation. The conversation
Absolutely.
has been the conversation has been that the women have been hypocrites, and that we have been speaking this to certain this, and then that we don't want to say to this. Do you understand what I'm saying? And my issue with that is, I want everybody to really understand what each woman, like, for their authentic self. I don't want you to be challenged for who you are. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if that's who you are and that's what works for you, then let that be. And we don't have to argue with one another over who each other is. And that's because that's been
Exactly.
the
No,
issue
I
out
don't
here.
know what you're saying. Are you mean? What do you mean? I mean, because I thought, and I'm not challenging you. I just don't. I literally couldn't follow that. Nikki was saying how I felt like she was saying like she's somehow more bolder because she's showing her real face. And I'm just saying like there's people who are anonymous for any variety of reasons. Like that's how they choose to be in the space. That's all I meant.
No, what I'm saying is that I shouldn't be penalized because I feel or because I am the way that I am, with the scrutiny of, being doxxed and all this other kind of stuff. And the same thing can't be given back to you because of how you choose to run and this, that, and the third. So it's like, don't attack my character when, I am out here in the open as who I am, but nobody knows who you are. To me, those are cowardly moves.
I agree with that because like another issue that we've had in this sector is trolls, okay? Faceless trolls who come into these chats. They create these beefs, okay? Amongst men, amongst women, and they keep this stuff going. And then we have the non-faceless ones who are actually we know what they look like. We talk to them and they keep this shit going along with the trolls. And the women get roped up in this bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? The women get roped up in this nonsense. And this is what I think is a problem. And what I need men to do, and trust me, it's not all the men. I don't think it's all the men or anything. I definitely don't. As a matter of fact, I think a large variety of men in the sector are not in this category. But it
I
is
agree
the
with
ones.
that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
But it
but
is
those
It's
the
men
the
tend to be
loudest men in the
silent.
sector who are the most problematic. It's the ones there's all these reasonable guys in the chats. But for the most
Mhm,
part, the men who are hosting shows are extremely misogynistic. It seems like they're
right.
used to being able to bully and cow the women, using their little pick me's with their wrenches to keep the women in line. And like I said, these niggas are actually really feel like, even though women are the ones doing the most of the supporting around here, most of the audience is female, I think, or at least a lot of the most vocal audience members, the ones who make these channels fucking pop, are the women, and they think that they can get our support and still talk to us crazy.
Exactly. And
And
I
it's
think
like
that's
they
what
feel like, yeah, if somehow we're not being feminine when we take on have to. Like, it's not
absolutely.
my fault that D Darrell is running amok. And quite frankly, if any men would have checked him like he needed to be checked, we could have sat over here and looked pretty. And I mean, as far as the snake man, LV, saying that we're hypocrites because we're moving in a direction where we're deciding to hold men accountable for being abusive towards women. By his logic, if the women were slipping before, we can't never shape up and start doing better, right? Because they don't want that. They don't want anything better. They just want to be able to keep on with their same degenerate behavior. And it seems to me like a lot of these men who don't want the women to lead, they can't lead nothing to a fucking fist fight in the parking lot. They can't accomplish shit but fighting and arguing all the goddamn time, roasting, I mean, putting down men half their age, don't want to do shit but fight and fight and fight. And women come in here and finally want to spread some feminine energy in this sector, which is sorely fucking needed. And instead of supporting us, they want to go back to them having all the power and leading us straight into the motherfucking ground. When it's like, bitch, if you want to be the leader, go ahead and lead and I'll let you.
Facts. Like, girl, you couldn't have
But
said that
have some,
better.
but have a destination.
That part, like, at least lead us
Hello?
somewhere. Have some water, bottled water for us or something. Some champagne.
Did I say too much? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
can
can
hear
hear you.
you.
Yeah, I can hear you. You good? Can you hear me?
Hello? I can't hear
Hey,
nobody.
Carrie, can you hear?
You probably need to drop off and drop back, come back in.
Yeah, because we can hear you.
I'm gonna give a couple of the other ladies a chance to talk. If you want to remain anonymous, you're welcome to do that. I don't know if you two would be able to.
I can't I cannot remain anonymous. I
No,
have the
babe.
Nor
sleepiest
can I.
voice.
The twins are
Neither one of
here.
y'all could
Yeah, the
remain
twins are
anonymous.
here, honey.
I
They
have the
know our
sleepiest
voices.
voice in the sector. How can I remain anonymous?
Well, anonymous and anonymous. Hello. How
Yeah,
are
come
y'all
through,
this
Sleepy
evening?
Tunde. You start. I'll wait for you, sis.
Okay.
Well, this is the thing. When I came into this sector, I'm gonna be honest. When I came in this sector, I was roasting all the men. Like I literally came in this sector, and I remember it being in the chats and just roasting men all day. Like it's just some, going back and forth with them, and they did not know I was a female at first. I don't know how, but they just saw Joe and they was like, they would make smart comments, and then it wasn't until I got on a panel and they heard my voice, then they started treating me differently. And what I get from the sector is that the men in the sector, they treat you a certain way if you look a certain way. Or if they see your
Facts.
image or they see how you look, they treat you a certain way. And, I'll use Carrie as an example. When Carrie came in the sector, my first encounter with Carrie was, I always thought Carrie was trolling. That was my experience with her. I remember she came on the panel and she was talking about celibacy, and then all the women were going crazy, right? And I was laughing, I was joking with her. I don't think she remembered, but it was in Max, and I was joking. And I was in the comments, and she said something about married women, and then they were all offended, but I wasn't. And I still kept like coming for her because I was like, well, she's trolling, so I'm going to troll her. Right. And what I think is that once she cammed up, then, you know, they expected her to look like, Mark Henry, and she didn't. And so when that happened, then, it was a divide
Mark
even
Henry,
then,
though.
because like I said, a lot of women in the sector really don't look like Mark Henry. Okay. And so they're always trying to find something wrong with the women in the sector, what
Hold
they
on,
look like.
Josephine. Joe, can you hold on 1 second? One
Sure.
second. Breaking the culture of silence. I really, really appreciate you. The super sticker. Thank you for coming in the building. You also can hit the link. You are certainly welcomed up here to the
Absolutely.
panel. Actually, you were actually a guest that I would love to have on the panel tonight. So the link is in the chat. It is pinned. And that link is for you as well. Okay, Joe, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
And in the beginning, a lot of women did not cam up because we're not, I'm not cattle. You know what I mean? I don't want to be paraded in the sector. I don't want to be judged. There's only one person that can judge me other than me. And that's the man I lay with. So I really didn't care if, people see, I didn't care to be, I was anonymous. I just like to be in the chat. I started coming out on the panels if they had like a discussion that I liked. But other than that, we had a woman in the sector who decided to cam up, thought and got a lot of attention. And she just thought that because of the way she looked, that the men were going to give her a lot of attention. And I remember that when she was getting so much attention, Dee Darrell made a video about her and said that she gives happy endings. Now, I thought that was very disrespectful back then. I didn't support his channel then. I knew who he was before I came into the sector, but I didn't support all those comments or those negative because I always thought he came from the manosphere. So that's just how I felt. So we had, everybody rallied behind her, because he made those comments and saw how hurt her feelings were. Just for her to turn around and for him to apologize to her, and then we were all supposed to say, okay, well, he's cool now. So that happened way in the beginning. So, in this sector, I started noticing a turn when a lot of the when certain men started attacking women because they would, get behind some of the men content creators they didn't like. You can't tell me where to go.
That's exactly what was going on. And we're not going to pretend that that's not what was happening, that these men were not like literally dividing lines in the sand. Now, I do want to say this though, okay? I think that comes from the culture of the AFW versus the good guys. Okay, I did say that in a video the other night.
Yeah, you
That
did.
I do think that that culture of the whole AFW versus good guys thing is where that started. You see what I'm saying? Or at least where that was coming from. And D. Durrell for a long time was kind of out there, doing that by himself. You understand what I'm saying? And then because Flacco wasn't always with, on that side of it. You understand what I'm saying? Like it was different. It was different people that came from different spaces, and it all just kind of blew up into this. And then nobody knew how to get over it when it was done. You know what I'm saying? When it was over, nobody knew how to get over it. Nobody knew how to kind of just go on about their business like the grown people we are. The women did, but the men didn't. And they just kept beefing and beefing and beefing. And next thing they roping women into arguments and conversations that never happened. People in the chat were getting roped into conversations like Ankh and everybody, all these poor people that just support content creators. And I don't understand why in this sector it seems like people think that there's always this conspiracy theory against people when somebody supports a content creator. That's what YouTube is about. YouTube is about supporting people and about listening to other people's point of view. And you understand what I'm saying? And supporting that point of view because you'd rather hear this than hear CNN or hear something else. So I don't understand why in this sector people are gaslit for supporting content creators and just being there and sending a cash app or
Right,
sending.
but it's also the sense of entitlement. Like you don't own your subscribers.
Exactly. Like,
Right,
what are you talking about?
right.
Like,
Right.
you don't make
They
me go
treat us like
nowhere. Like, what
children.
are you talking about?
They
That's that
treat us like
AAS shit.
children. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
AAS was very
You
definitely.
know,
I
I
know,
want to say that I don't really know a lot about D. Durrell, and I never really took a lot of offense to anything he said to me. I just considered it, us going back and forth. Like, if I would have been ever so offended by anything he said, I would have just disengaged, right? Because I don't go back and forth with people who I have that type of disdain for. Now I did always think he was a little buffoonish, but you know, I would have loved to have been able to just have a chill relationship with Darrell, because he is a force in the sector, right? So why I want war with a force in the sector? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we can
sorry, I'm
hear
paranoid.
you.
But yeah, it's like I would have loved to have been able to tell him how I felt about the situation with breaking the code of silence and still be cool. But just like some other narcissists, it's like I knew like the second I had anything contrary to say, it was gonna be, war. And that's unfortunate, because I don't really I told y'all this before. I just be wanting to have friendly little back and forth like type of arguments. I don't be wanting to actually be at war. I don't have no
absolutely.
interest in that. But his
Real quick,
ego is so
guys.
fragile.
Real quick. Glorian, thank you for becoming a lounger. I appreciate you for joining membership. Thank you for that. Truly appreciate that. And peace to you. I appreciate you being in the building. Thank you. Um,
My
TMK,
thing,
thank you for being in the building. One of our, definitely one of our gatekeepers out here in the lounge. We appreciate you, bro. And
my
Spotting also being in the building. Thank
Let me
you.
just finish my point. Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I felt like with wait, can I remember it? Shit. I didn't want I didn't oh yeah. I almost, and I don't mean it, I don't know if this is true, but like I almost feel like when I came over and started flirting with D. Durrell and everything, I almost feel like that kind of went to his head even more. And he was just really feeling like the Godfather. Like he had been talking crazier ever since I popped in his chat. And so if I'm responsible for any of that, like I'm sorry, Um, you know, I just wanted to be friends.
But if you own it, you own it. You
Right.
understand? That's the difference. If a person is saying, "I'm sorry, Joe," go ahead. You was gonna say something, then I'll chime back in and
No,
finish
no,
up.
no. Go ahead, QT. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, QT.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, oh, and hi, ladies, by the way, and hi to the chat.
Hey,
Hey.
cutie one.
Yeah, it's like if you own it, there's nothing wrong with that. I applaud any woman, any man who could just stand 10 toes down and can express what you just did. Like, okay, I might have played a part in that, or say I did play a part in that. That's fine. But when someone is saying to another person, "Hey, I don't like this. Stop. Not cool." That's when the waters get a little murky. Okay. And I agree with everything
Yeah.
you ladies have said so far. And Bombay did his live today, and I expressed something to him. And his comeback after, you know, we had the exchange of chat, he said boundaries. I was like, I like that. And you guys mentioned that too. And basically what I was saying is that, like what you guys talked about, the women and the men shouldn't be in women's business. His point was that we should all be able to dialogue, talk about different things, far as the sexes are concerned. I agree with that. Well, and I was saying to him, what I got from it yesterday had nothing to do with men can't have an opinion about something we may be talking about. It's the literal getting involved, because I put in there, a lot of these back and forth, and like you said, to be the quote unquote beefing, they would have been momentarily had it just been between us as women. It would not have gone to the level where it is now. Okay. And I would also like to say, I think he's really hurt, in particularly with you, because it's this, you guys are closer. But my thing is um, this thing that they're trying to create, the battle with the sexes or the sector. I'm gonna speak for myself on this. I don't know breaking. Okay. I don't know if anyone on the panel actually does, but I'm gonna say this. Um, we were simply speaking on a subject that occurred yesterday. Okay. I did bring up the songs, but what I said was, and this goes like to LV talking about hypocrites. I thought that was what I was doing when I said, oh, it's a whole lot of people that was laughing and kikiing about the songs that are now feeling some type of way today. I said that yesterday, but I also brought up there were sexually explicit lyrics in the song and how Star felt. We all went to bat. That's one of the reasons that Darrell didn't like me, is because of that. And I will say it here again, and I said it when it happened. And people who were there know I'm telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I asked before I even spoke several times. I was like, is this a setup, Binary? Are you setting us up? Because you said, Star said he apologized. He kept playing this recording. So we're all in the chat trying to catch where this apology happened. That's where the back and forth began with the ladies on the panel with her at that point. And we had all been hearing how upset she was. Okay, about this song. So again, we were doing what a lot of women do, like, yo, okay, she's hurt. This is bothering her. She just doesn't want this to be done. And we all came to bat for her in our way, but he took it like we're browbeating her. We're just simply
Mm-hmm.
saying, like, yo, wait, if he did this and you keep doing this, you know how we see how she do now? You keep bringing it up. You keep bringing it up. Now you're
Well,
saying
let
you're
me
going over there.
if I can speak to that, because I'm
Yeah.
so glad you brought all of that up. Okay, because this is you and me on two opposite sides of the coin. Okay, so you'll be over there listening to that side of it, and then I'm in D Darrell's chat. Okay, and I can hear where Stargate is on the panel, and how Dee Darrell did apologize to her, okay, and how she did make it seem like you guys were like really, like I couldn't even understand myself why y'all felt like she was being set up. You see what I mean? Like I didn't understand where the concept of
No,
being
oh no,
set
no,
up.
and I never felt that. Oh,
Okay.
okay. When I mentioned the setup, I was talking
Mhm.
about. I see where you're saying now, but I'm a clear what I'm talking
Okay.
about, and then get to your point. When I said setup, I'm talking to binary. I'm like, dude, are you setting us up? Meaning the ladies on the
Okay.
panel who came to talk to Star because he kept saying, "Listen, y'all, listen," and we keep going. Wait, all in the chat. Where's the apology? He didn't apologize. What are you talking about? That's what I thought was the setup. You get it? For us to
Yeah.
talk to her and come at her the way we did.
So what I
That's what it
remember,
was.
right? What I
Mhm.
remember was this. I remember Stargate was supposed to come over to Darrell's show, okay? And he was supposed to do it was supposed to be this big show. He was supposed to apologize and
Right.
this whole big thing. And she had went on the panel allegedly because I really
Mhm.
didn't see that show between y'all.
Okay.
But I did see Darrell's show.
Okay.
So allegedly she was on the panel with y'all and she was being told to be careful about going over to Darrell. And at the
Mhm.
time, I really didn't understand that. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
I didn't get where the caution was because to me, I thought it was just roasting. I thought they were just, you understand what I'm saying? So for you guys to
Absolutely.
say, so when you guys say that she was so hurt, I
Yes.
don't understand where the hurt comes from because with her, when I saw her kikiing and laughing with the good guys, I didn't see all this hurt. Now I saw her like, tell Darrell, well, you did hurt me, Darrell. But she act like it wasn't that big of a deal. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, which is why I mentioned where we are today. Now we
okay,
see how
now
this
I'm
program works,
seeing, yes,
right? Now we
right,
see how she operates because I promise
exactly.
you,
It's coming
we would
around full
never.
circle.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we would have never said anything. It was because of, you got to understand this is if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Her and Smoke might have still been cool, but we just happen to be on Binary's channel. And if that's not true, it's coming off the heels of that. So you got to understand, we are getting this story over and over, right? When that song came out. So however long from that point to that panel, she was still telling us like she's hurt and she's so bothered. And then it's like, no, but we're gonna go over, so it's like, okay, well, what are you going over there for? Because you're telling us one thing, right? But now we're hearing this. But you said he apologized, and like you said, you heard the apology. This is why I said binary set the ladies who were talking to Star. He set us up because he played that freaking recording 3 times, and Star kept saying, "No, binary, that's not the part. Keep going. You'll hear him apologize," and he never did. So right there, he's already putting doubt in our minds, right? That
Hmm.
this happened. So now does it make sense where we all kind of just got
Yes.
led down a damn rabbit
It
Well,
hole?
really does. And you
Yeah.
see
can
how the men are behind this
Thank
shit.
you. And
can
thank
can I
you.
can I can I say
Uh,
something?
Yeah.
Because I saw both chats, so I know what T Pre's talking about, and I know what you're talking about. I Star is Smurfy. So she's manipulative. She'll get attention from both sides. I've always seen that. She was over there, she accepted his apology. I really didn't pay that much attention to D Darrell like that because I used to roast him in the beginning. And that was because he was just, he just said ridiculous things and he was sensitive. So I just played on that. So whenever he would come on this side, I would roast him, but I would never go on his side because I knew if I came over there I would get blocked. So that was the reason why. That whole thing with I'm gonna call him Ernie now, but that whole thing with Ernie just uses Star for entertainment purposes, and he gets off on all the conflict and everything that goes on. So that's all manipulation. She's not a good gauge because she's never got along with women, even when she was younger. So if men see the division, it's because it's manipulation. Because she's willing, men play on simple-minded females all the time, and so a lot of the men in the sector play on her. And now that women are speaking up and there's stronger-minded women in the sector, they have a problem with it, and that's all I'm seeing. So
I agree.
That's it.
Great.
I
Hold on,
agree.
guys. Breaking the culture of silence. Thank you for joining the panel. I really appreciate you being on tonight. I hope you didn't want to remain anonymous because I definitely said your whole name just now. But
Yes, you
how
did,
are
T
you?
Free.
Hey, ladies.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
No, it's fine. I don't mind. It's fine.
Okay. It's good to have you on the show. And definitely with you being the conversation, I certainly wanted you to have an opportunity to be on the panel, of course, and speak your speech on all of this. You don't have to, say anything if you don't want to, of course. You don't owe anybody any explanations about nothing. But I want to give you your props and your flowers for knocking that bird bitch out the fucking nest because I really don't like the bitch. Thank you for
Well,
that.
and that's the
That's number
thing.
one.
Like, and that's the thing. And I didn't even want to have to do that because that was even just
Right.
weird for me. Well, first, I
I
want to say
agree.
thank you to you and to Carrie Ann and to everybody else that did stand up for me because you guys didn't have to, but you did. And it's not common for women to stand up for women. But my
Right.
issue was like when it came to Star, her just blatantly lying on me for no reason. It's just weird. Like I don't know you. I've never done anything to you. I've never had a conversation with you. And then to try to lie and manipulate the situation and say that she only said that because I said that she was sus for entertaining men. I'm like, that's BS because you actually said this about me on Binary's channel a while back, and you said it on another woman's channel a while back. I just never addressed you because I didn't even know who you were, so I just ignored it. But for her to do that, and then when D Darrell did what he did, it was like months and months and months of buildup. And I genuinely never did anything to that man. Like nothing. I've never slandered him. I've never called him names. I've never mocked him. I've never nothing. I've pretty much stayed out of the drama when he would get into it with people from my sector. I stayed out of it. So to constantly be called a bunch of whores and sluts and prostitutes and then for him to go as far as he did the other day, like people were like, oh, she's just mad because he called her ugly and skinny. And it's like, I'm not ugly, so that doesn't bother me. And I am skinny, so that doesn't bother me. I know what I look like. That wasn't where I had the issue. It went from you're ugly and skinny to you're a throat goat, you're a whore, you sleep with people, you do this, you do that, and just completely sexually harassed me. And he's been doing it, and I never address him. Like he's been doing this for months, and he deleted a lot of videos that he made of me, and it was unwarranted. Like I genuinely didn't do anything to this man. Never had a conversation with him. I was on one panel with the man one time. I was addressing another woman in the sector who I'm being accused of sexualizing and sexually harassing, which you can't harass someone who's harassing you for 2 years straight. You just can't. Like I was harassed by this woman for 2 years straight and I didn't say a word. Like publicly, I was silent for 2 years. I went radio silent on her, didn't say anything. And when I finally do stand up for myself, I'm sexually harassing her. No, 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 no. This woman has been sexually harassing me for 2 years, as well as physically stalking me. Like I have court documentation, I have paperwork from the police, I have a letter from my landlord where I was able to break my lease because these people were swatting me to the police, to where the police was coming to my house all the time. Like I went through pure hell for 2 years and said nothing. So D Darrell for me, that was just it was my final like straw. I was just fed up.
And I would like to add, because, I just want to be clear, and, maybe he's listening. I know, again, I'm going to speak for myself. We don't know you. And yes, we spoke on what you said. And when I say I'm saying this coming from me, because remember, I didn't hear the video. So I feel like as a woman, right? If you're telling me, and the other ladies on the panel said what they heard, meaning they're going to, they agree with you that it is sexual harassment. I don't think it's fair for the men to say, oh, the women in the sector, oh, y'all letting the outsider come in, you just propping her up, everybody's on her team going against. It's not that. It's simply a matter of because that's why I asked you questions yesterday. Well, when did this happen? Because I don't know, right? I think that's only fair. I'm
Right.
going to
Right.
ask you.
No,
So,
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
So me asking you questions that pertain to exactly what we were talking about yesterday, again, I would think that's what they would want us to do, right? So we're not just sitting pointing the finger saying, yes, you did that. Yes, you did that. We believe her. We're simply saying, yo, if that's what happened and it is what it is, then we don't agree with it. That's all
Well,
we
and they're
were
looking at it
saying.
the wrong way because it's not about taking sides. It's not even saying that he's a bad guy. I'm not even saying that he's a bad guy. I don't know the
Right.
man. But I do know that what he did to me for months and months and months unprovoked. It wasn't like I was going back and forth with this man. It wasn't like I was making videos and dragging him and he just wild out on me. No, like I can genuinely say, and I'll wait for anyone, just like Star, to provide receipts that I attacked the woman that they're saying that I sexually harassed. Show me where I attacked her first. Show me where I said anything back to this woman for 2 years after she berated me for 2 years. I mean, I'm talking pure hell I went through, like pure hell. Like I'm not exaggerating, I'm not making it up. It's public record what she did to me. We can provide receipts, I can provide audios, clips, police reports, letters from landlords, neighbors able to provide. Like it was bad. And then for D Darrell to jump on her bandwagon and continue what she did to me because I decided to speak up, just like he did with Star, it's like it's not okay, and you guys don't just get to go around bullying me because you don't like the way that I look, because you're jealous of who I am, or it's like I didn't do anything to you guys. I have a right to decide that I don't want to deal with someone, which is what I did to that one person. I just said I didn't want to deal with stalking people. I have a right to say that. You don't get to harass me because I don't want to be a participant in you doing something that landed y'all in federal court anyway. So I clearly wasn't lying about what happened because they both ended up in federal court behind it. So Larry Reed took them both to court. So it's like, I didn't make up anything. I didn't do anything to these people. I just stood up for myself. And I have a right to do that. And people were looking at it like it's sides or you're putting someone on a pedestal. I don't want to be put on a pedestal for being sexually harassed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be up here explaining like how I'm having to deal with a guy who's sexually harassing me. Like, no one, I don't find that funny. I don't find it cute. I don't find it a kiki. It's not about sides. It's about right and wrong. It's not to say you
Right.
can't talk to him. It's not to say you can't be his friend, but you're supposed to be able to call people, especially if we're friends. We should be able to call each other on our BS. Like what he did was wrong. What she did was wrong. And what Star
Mhm.
did was wrong. It was wrong.
Mhm.
There's
Mhm.
So
no
now,
way around it. If I had done something to him, prove that I did it.
right. So now
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
know how I feel or what I've been going through with AAS and her bullshit.
Well, see, and that's the thing. I can't even say that because I genuinely, one, I don't even know who's talking. And two, when it comes to AAS, I told AAS from the beginning, when she and I became cordial, I made it very clear. When it comes to things that is going on in your sector, I don't know anything about it. Don't try to get me to know anything about it. I don't really want to know anything about it. I don't know anything that's going on in this sector. I don't know who half of the people are. I've heard a lot of things. Different people have said a million different things to me, but I can't make a judgment on something that I don't know. Just like I
I
wouldn't
agree, and
expect you.
I don't think you should be on trial for what AAS has done.
No, I'm not
Just
I'm
like
not putting her on trial. What I'm
no, I
saying
don't
No,
think
is
I
you will
didn't
that,
take
either.
it that I didn't
oh,
even
okay,
take it
because
that
I'm
she
just
said it that
saying
way. I didn't
I
I don't
even
think
I
so.
didn't take
understand
it that
how
way.
you feel,
I
and I'm
just
saying
wanted
that's how
to.
I feel with her and
Right.
her stalking
Hmm.
and the fact that she does not respect boundaries.
Yeah, because she definitely doesn't.
And I can say this, and I didn't take that as her putting me on trial for, because
Yeah, I don't
every
think you
time
did.
any panel I go on, people they ask me this question, and again, I understand that when you associate yourself with people, sometimes you do have to. Sometimes when you associate yourself with people, you pick up their baggage, and I'm a big girl, you know what I mean? I
No, the
understand that, and I
premise of
respect
me
that.
saying that, the premise of me saying that is not for you ladies. It's really because this show is public, and I don't want people to start
Right.
narratives. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's another part of this problem is that when you say one thing, they take a sound bite and then they create an entire story and narrative over that, and next thing you know, people are in Thailand and all kinds of shit, and nobody, none of that shit happened. So,
Oh, you're Nikki. Someone I see the comment
Yes.
section. So you're Nikki. Okay, hi Nikki.
Hi. What's good with
Hello.
you?
I will say this to you guys. As far as the ladies, I genuinely don't know the story between you guys. I actually do tell her to keep me out of it. Like, don't tell me anything about people. Like I had said to Carrie Ann just the other night on her panel. And people are like, AAS is going to be upset that you're here. And like I said to Carrie Ann, I'm like, listen, I'm an adult. I don't let anyone tell me who I can and can't talk to. She's honestly never told me not to talk to anybody. I don't know everybody's experience. Our communication isn't, I don't even think it's what people think it is either. She and I connected based on another YouTuber, which I'm not going to put her name out there because she's not on trial right now either. I'm saving her for tomorrow night. But she and I connected because AAS saw what this woman had did to me. Like, it was actually pretty bad what this woman did to me. I don't know what AAS did to you guys. I can't speak on that because I genuinely just don't know. And I'm not going to build an opinion on something that I don't know because I wouldn't expect you to do it, for me because you don't know. But that's how we connected, was because she saw what this person was putting me through. And it was actually pure hell. Like, it's not even an exaggeration to what this woman did to me. Like, sending letters to my fiance's house, contacting my
See,
mother.
that's the
Like, it
part
was
I have a problem with
bad.
real quick.
It was
Breaking.
bad.
That's the part that's, oh, it's cringy to me because, oh gosh, because we know who you're talking about. And the same way
so
you don't want to talk about AAS, right? I just like to stay on topic personally.
yeah,
If
No,
let's
you,
and I
just
you know,
understand that. And I
thank
understand that.
you.
I
if
respect
we can
that.
just
Thank
I
you.
respect,
not
but I was just saying, I was basically mentioning this person to say that basically D Derail had piggybacked when I started
off
to
of
finally
that.
Oh
respond
yeah,
to the
we got
person.
it. Oh, we
Yeah,
Right, right.
absolutely
we
agree because
know
it's
So
not
it's
that.
the
not
first
to it's
time.
not to drag her, right? It's not to drag her.
I
Don't get me wrong.
understand.
It's not.
Right.
I
That's your
respect the
point of entry
panel,
into
and I
this
wouldn't do
sector.
that to you.
And we
Right.
Right. It was
understand that.
Yeah,
him
because we've
I
all
would
piggybacking
seen
just
off
it.
of what
say,
she
We've seen it
did.
before breaking. That's why I was saying, like, we
yeah,
get it when you
right.
mention
We're
how
aware of
that
that.
happened, honey.
Hmm.
We have been there, done that because this is the routine. So that's why I was just like,
Right.
ooh, I'm a little getting cringy now because we get it. We do understand though. But
We
continue.
know though how you were introduced to the sector. So we're all
Okay.
aware of
But
all
yeah,
of
that's
that. We know the
basically
whole
where I was
story.
going with it.
And I'll be honest with you, I think every woman in the sector decided that we did not want to get involved in that on either side. That was
Right.
Facts.
what
And I respect that
where
because you
you
guys have
Except for
that
that other
right.
person,
Yeah.
except for the
right,
bird and her
right.
buddy.
Now the bird is different because none of us fuck with her. Like, I mean,
Facts.
we just don't fuck with the bitch. So I mean,
Like some
welcome,
of
What
us just
she
don't
did
have
was
the
just so
patience, and
bizarre.
we don't
right.
have 10 hours to tell her a 2-minute conversation.
Yeah, and she's just, oh God, oh, I can't.
That was a lot. That was like that. She was just a lot because I've never seen someone get caught in a lie and then double down in a lie and then like triple. I was just like,
That's her
okay.
MO, and
That's
that's
what she
binary's
does.
MO.
She does that. That's what they do. Hmm.
Because I didn't have
Like, is
anything
it
against star or
validation? Like,
binary.
why? I just don't get why a woman would do that to another woman for no reason. Like, I'm just like, is it that you're seeking validation from a man? Or did someone put you up to this? Like, I don't know. I guess I was just mind blown and I was confused. And just to even hear the things that were being said on the panels, like the things that she was saying, I'm like, well, hold on. I thought that you were crying because men were doing the very thing to you that they're doing to me. But yeah, you're excusing it when it's someone else. But when it was you, you were cool with it. You were,
That's the
I don't
thing.
like, I
Nobody
don't get
was.
it.
I'm a lot of this stuff with the bird. Okay, is what it looks like now after us all comparing notes and kind of talking about things and and it's kind of a blessing that we've all kind of been scattered about in different parts of the sector because we can see her strategies in some of this. And a lot of this beef that is taking place, I think she quelled a lot of it. I think she created a lot of it. Like for instance, all that beef that was going on between Smoke and Darrell, for instance. Okay. I think a lot of that was created with her. I think she didn't do anything to stop it. I think she liked the attention she was getting from both of the men. I think
Facts.
that she kept up those lies and she put and roped the women, allowed the women to get roped into that because Darrell was willing to say anything to toot her horn in a sense, and he would end up saying stuff to her like, the ladies were just jealous of you, and and different things. And don't get it twisted. There may have been one, and there was nobody on this panel and nobody that's in my chat room right
Been
now.
gone for a while, huh?
Yeah,
Who was
that
jealous of
actually
Star?
may have been, but I think that person was jealous of all the women. Okay, I think that
Let me
person.
mute myself.
She got Al now, and she
Oh
has
no, we're
Al
gonna get
now.
into it. Okay, like that
Let me mute
person.
myself.
I do think that person was jealous of all the women, but
Mm.
here goes. I got a couple
I'm
new
sorry.
people on the panel, y'all. We got a powerhouse panel in here.
I have a
Gloriana,
question.
Wait,
Here,
can
girl.
Breaking address do what thou wilt?
Huh?
I didn't know anything about that. Breaking, can you address do what thou wilt? You even
Hold on.
said
Let me
something
see
about
what you said.
Glorion. You see it, T Free?
No, I don't see it. Hold on.
Where I'm
About
looking through the
Glorion's
chat
job.
now.
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't see what you're
Oh,
talking
she
about.
got it. There it is on the screen.
Okay.
You see it, Breaking?
Hold on, I'm looking.
You
I'm in
even
the chat. Oh,
said
I
you
see it
was
highlighted. You even said that you were gonna personally check if Glorion still had her job. That's harassment, ma'am. Just saying. Well, actually, if you want to be correct, I actually already knew who Glorion was. Glorion and I actually work in the same field. And I actually know who Glorion is. I live in the same state as her. I kind of live close to her. I know exactly who she is. And I actually never harassed Glorion. I never made videos on Glorion. I never made any content on Glorion. All I said when I found out, that her and another young lady were going at it. I don't want to mention who the other person was, but they were going at it. And I'm actually cool with the other party. I said, "Oh, I know exactly who she is." We were on the panel and she was like, "Well, how do you know who she is?" And I was like, "Well, I didn't work with her, but I worked kind of with her. Like I kind of know who she is." I was like, "She's actually like a big dog in a sense." And I was like, "But," she's like, "Well, yeah, because she said that she's not working." I was like, "Well, I mean, if you want, I can check, but that's not harassing her. Harassing her is making unwanted contact with her. Harassing her would be making a lot of content about her. Harassing her would be defaming her. Harassing her would be slandering her. Harassing her would have been me making derogatory comments about her. I actually did none of the sort. But if you can
Real
find
quick,
a
since you
receipt
brought it
of
up,
me
how you
harassing
know
her, drop
you live
it.
close to her?
Because again, I know who she is. I just know who she is. I know
Okay,
who
I
she is.
got
And
you.
I
No,
was
girl, look,
actually
I had to
shocked when I
check now.
heard,
See, I had to
I'll
check
say
because we
this.
don't know you.
No, because I know who she, no, I've never attacked Glorion ever, actually, ever. And I will wait for the receipt to show where I was just dragging the hell out of Glorion online because I'll wait. It never happened. But I was actually shocked and I actually said that. I was actually said it. I was like, really? I was like, Glorion did all this? I was like, because I actually know who she is. And people thought I was lying. And I was like, no, I know exactly who this woman is. I was like, I know exactly what she does. I was like, she's actually like looked up to. Like, I know exactly who Shorty is. And I was like, I'm shocked to even hear that she would do that. And I was like, is there any receipts? And I kept asking for the receipts, but receipts didn't get produced from what I saw. And I
So
was
with
just like,
that,
oh,
we
and I
said
left it
receipts not
alone.
being produced. So can we say that you were kind of lied to then when it comes to
Well,
that?
I can't say that anyone, I can't say that I was lied to because I don't know, but I will say that I personally never dragged her. I just simply stated that I knew who she was and that I
No,
was
I'm talking about
shocked
the
at
receipts
what they
because you
were
said you were
saying.
waiting. You say you were waiting for the receipts to be
Well, I
produced, and
can't
they
say
never
that they
were.
lied. They could have just maybe never produced the receipts. I can't say that they
Gotcha.
lied. I can't say that they didn't because I really don't know. But
I
I
got
was shocked. And I did say that when I was like, really? I was like, because I actually know who she is. And she's
you.
actually pretty upstanding from what I know. I know what she does. I was like, her job is I was shocked. And I
All
was
And
right.
just like,
can y'all
oh,
hear
but
me?
I never
We can hear
harassed
you now,
you.
T.
Yeah,
Hold
and
on.
also,
Can you
and
guys hear
also,
me?
and
Can you
also,
guys hear me? Was
ladies,
that Glorion?
Oh, hey,
yeah,
Gloriana. Oh, that's
Yeah.
hi,
Gloriana
hi,
Guys.
and
Gloriana
Terry.
how
here.
y'all doing,
Hi.
ladies? How y'all doing? I hope we having a good
Hey.
evening.
Hey, Glow.
Hold on a second. If I can get everybody to speak if they want to, I just want to, because I've got like 9 people up here now. So if the ladies who just joined, if you guys can just say hey, because I do have the banner up. I can also take the banner down if you guys want to be seen talking. It doesn't matter.
Now leave it like it is because we don't need to give anybody any thumbnail bullshit.
Yeah.
Let
Hey
me
Yeah,
guys,
it's like
I just wanted to
Keeper too.
speak.
Hey, keeper.
I got a little feedback.
Yeah, you sound. Don't be on no
yeah,
wood
it's like
chips
an
mic
echo
like
or
Apple.
something.
Okay, well,
can I
I
just say,
just want to
can we
say,
like,
I just want
can
to
we?
say hi to everybody. Let everybody know that I'm up here. Money to burn. It's up here.
Hey,
Have a
Money to
Amen.
Burn.
little bit to add to the situations that are going on. But I'm up here. I'll just wait my turn. But I just wanted to say hi to everybody up here. Carrie, Breaking the Culture of Silence. Of course, T Pre, Glow, Keeper, Cutie, and Nikki.
Hey,
Hello.
Hey, Nikki,
Hope
Nikki.
hey,
everybody is doing great.
Miss T Pre, I'm about to
Yes.
hop down. Can I
Okay.
say something real quick before I go?
Yeah, sure.
And I might hop back up. I want to take my dog for a quick little night walk.
Okay.
I just want to I'm grateful that we're having this discussion, and I'm just hoping we could kind of keep the discussion related to the sector and the direction we want the sector to go, and avoid the temptation to like put breaking the culture of silence on trial or whatever for everything that's happened in the past. I mean, I think that's a discussion that might happen at another time, but I just don't want it to devolve into like that.
I agree.
Mhm.
I was actually going to say that too,
Thanks, Miss T Pre. I'm gonna
because
hop down.
okay, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
was actually going to say that too. And the reason why is because the purpose for me creating this show was because I really wanted the ladies to be able to tell our true experiences of what's it's been like in the sector. Okay.
Hmm.
Because there's a couple of men that feel like they can speak for us. Okay. And also tell us who and what we can support, where we're supposed to be at. You know, you understand what I'm saying? And what we're supposed to feel when it comes to supporting content creators or even just supporting people in general and who
Hey,
we
T
don't
T
support.
T Pre, can I
Mhm.
piggyback off that just for a hot
Absolutely.
second? All right.
Absolutely.
F First of all, I was speaking to everybody. This is Keeper, by the way. I don't
Hi,
play any
Keeper.
big
It's great to
significant
have you on
role.
the show.
Thanks, T Pre. I appreciate that, but I don't play any big significant role within all of this. But I did have a few questions for Breaking the Code of Silence, if you don't mind. Basically, my questioning is going to be for my own clarification and understanding, being that the women are put on some type of I don't know how I can word it, but I guess we're being challenged as to say, hey, how dare you guys believe this or believe that? You're jumping on the bandwagon for this or that, right? So I just became familiar with the situation, breaking the code of silence between you and Darrell and Star just a couple of days ago, right? Um, so if you don't mind, I'd just like to ask you. Actually, I think it's three questions to be specific. No, nothing too pressing. The first question is, how did you come to know D. Darrell?
That's the thing. I don't know D. Darrell. There
Well,
was
what I mean by don't know him, what I mean by get to know him, how did you become on his radar and vice versa?
So D. Darrell was doing a live one night about, I don't even remember what he was doing a live about. He was doing a live about something,
About how
and
long ago was that?
months ago, like maybe Christmas time, possibly. I could be wrong,
Okay.
but I would say like around Christmas ish, Christmas, New
Mm-hmm.
Year's ish, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, he was doing a panel about something. I don't even remember what he was doing a panel about, but there was a particular YouTuber that was on the panel, and her friends were in the chat mentioning me, like dragging me and mentioning me in the chat, her and her friend. So me and CTV see our names being mentioned, we're highlighted. So we went over there. So we're listening to
Mm-hmm.
the content, and this person that has been harassing me for 2 years is up there yet again harassing me. Haven't mind you, I haven't said anything up until this point to this person. Um, 2 years. I've been completely radio silent, like absolutely not a peep.
Okay,
So
so now
finally,
this person of 2 years is not Darrell. This is a whole nother
right,
other
this is a
person.
person
Okay,
that's
got it.
on his panel. So she's on
Okay.
his panel. And I'm,
Mm-hmm.
mind you, they're mentioning me, they're mentioning CTV in the chat. So we come in, we're
Mm-hmm.
looking at the chat, and this woman is up here talking. She's dragging me, and I'm just like, yo, like, it just doesn't stop. So I'm like, yo, CTV, should we jump on the panel? Should we address this finally once and for all? And he's like, let's do it. So we got on the panel. She got off the panel. He asked us, what happened? What's going on? Why is she saying this stuff? So we told our truth, and we told him, if you want receipts, if you want to know, if what we're saying is valid, all the videos are still up. You can look at, the content for yourself. You don't have to worry about us clipping anything. You can see it raw, loud, live, and in color. So that happens. And then I would say maybe 2 to 3 days after this, like me and CTV coming on this panel, he just starts dragging me and CTV. And that's when the sexual harassment began. It wasn't like, she's not pretty, she's skinny, she's this, she's that. I mean, it was like pure, she's a whore, she spreads her legs for everyone, she's a throat goat, she gets fucked in the ass. Like, it was bad. Like, I'm not exaggerating. So that's how I got on his radar, was me defending myself.
Okay, I appreciate that. And then do you mind, how did you get to know that that panel was taking place at that time? How did
Because
you
they were
know?
mentioning me in CTV
No,
in
I'm
the
saying, how
chat.
did you know to go over there? Who, did it come in your algorithm, or were you told,
So
hey, go
basically
check this out?
they were tagging us in the chat. Like, they were like highlighting us in the chat, I guess, or whatever, or mentioning us in the chat. And people were like, yo, look at what's going on in this chat. So we went and sat in the chat and we watched for a while, and then we finally jumped on.
Okay, so other people came and told you
Right.
guys
I didn't
what
know
was
that
going
D
on.
Rail even existed at this time. I didn't even know he was a person yet. Like, I didn't know who he was.
Okay, so in other words, you heard from when you were over at Conscious TV's show, there was somebody watching the show, and they because that was happening. There were people that were
Yep.
kind of
We were
blended
live on
between the two
CTV,
sectors.
and they
Yeah,
were coming to we were live
yeah,
on CTV's panel is what happened. And when we were
right.
live, people were jumping in the chat and telling us, like, yo, like, it,
Do
and
you
there was
have
like some
any
pretty messed up
idea
stuff being
of
said.
who? Do you have any idea of who this person and or people were? Do you have any
Yeah,
thought
because I
on
would
that?
love to know, because I think that plays a big part in how a lot of
Honestly,
this stuff.
that was so long ago. Like, I'll just be real with you. It was so long ago, and so many people were putting it in the chat. I don't even remember. Like, I'm not
Got
even
it.
gonna hold
Got
you.
it.
I
I
really don't
appreciate that.
remember.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I
Is
appreciate
that
that. And
video
again,
still up?
I don't know, because D Derail's deleted a lot. He's been
Not the
deleting
D
stuff, so
Darrell
I don't
video.
know.
I'm talking about the Conscious TV video when they were telling you guys that
I
he's
don't
lying.
know. I mean, I'm assuming CTV doesn't typically pull content down. I just don't remember which live. I mean, the man goes live like every 3 seconds, so I don't
okay.
remember what live we were in. I just know it was like around. I want to say it was around like Christmas. It was like the Christmas
Right.
era time.
Okay,
So
December of 2021.
it would
Got
have
it.
been like December, January, something like that is when it started.
Okay. And then breaking the code of silence, I would like to pose that same question about Star.
Well,
Stargate.
Well, Star just came on the panel and just lied on me. I don't know,
Like, how
but
long ago was that, maybe?
well, this was just what, last week is when I first got into it with Star.
Oh,
Was it
so
last week?
so
Was the
you
first
just
time
come.
you were familiar with her? Was just last week?
No,
You
so
didn't
I'll
know
say
her?
this. So I didn't know who Star was. I had come into contact with Binary. This is when I first knew who Binary Code was. I didn't know anything about him. I had just seen him, and he would come over to CTV's chat. So I remember one day I just happened to click on, I had subscribed to Binary, and I just happened to, be on YouTube, and I seen he was live and Star was on there, but I didn't know who Star was. I didn't actually know or actually ever speak to Star, know who she was, ever even see the girl's content or anything until, like, I want to say like a week ago when me and her got into it. But the night that she was on that panel with Binary, she was saying, like, yeah, she's in Breaking the Culture, sleeps with married men. Yeah, I know for a fact she does. And they were talking about it. And I'm just like, well, who is this chick? So I didn't say anything. I let it go. And then I seen her on another person's panel, and she was like saying the same thing. So I'm like, who the hell is this girl? But I just never said anything. I let it go. And then when she was being interviewed by CTV, I still didn't say anything. I didn't address her on what she was saying about me or anything. All I said was, when she was telling her, she was reiterating her account with Smoke, she was like, yeah, I was not, doing anything wrong. It was all smoke. And I was like, well, you're talking to a man who's married at 3, 4 in the morning. That's sus. And from there, she reiterated again, like, oh, well, you sleep with married men. Hit the link, hit the link. So I hit the link.
Okay, so in its totality, you've been knowing of her for about what you say, weeks or a month, or how
No,
long?
I mean, I would say Star's been saying this stuff around the same time. It was all because Binary and all of them came around the same time. So it would have been around the same time. It was all within the Christmas, New Year's era. Is
Oh,
when
so
I
you,
knew I came across her, but I never watched her content. I never followed anything. I just saw her on a panel. And then I saw her
okay,
on someone else's panel who I happened to follow from y'all sector. It's a woman, so I'm not going to put her on blast, but she was on that panel. And then she was saying the same thing on that panel. But I never like pressed it. I never said anything. I never
okay, so
even
you guys actually
commented in the
had
chat.
verbal contact within what, the last week?
It was in the last week. It's when she was telling her story on CTV's panel. And all I said was she sus. And she tried to say,
Hmm.
oh, well, I heard you say it out your mouth. And then we proved to her that I didn't say it and showed her the
Right.
evidence that she didn't know what she was talking about. And I'm like, the
Hmm.
man was never married. I don't know what you're talking about. So if he
Right.
was never married, I couldn't have said it because he wasn't even married. And she
Okay, and
just
I
kept
have one more
going.
question. Uh, I want to pose the same question for AAS as well. And a second part of that question is, what is that relationship like today?
Well, I'm not going to speak on AAS because apparently that's a sore spot for everybody. And again, I have not gotten involved. I don't
Well,
know
I
what
don't I
she
don't know
has done,
AAS. I
hasn't
don't
done.
know. Yeah, I don't know
I'll
AAS,
say this, she genuinely hasn't. All I can say with AAS is this. AAS and I again connected based upon this person who stalked me for 2 years. Um she has supported me,
Okay,
so I
well,
had no.
yeah. Yeah,
Well,
so
you're
I don't
asking
I
what our
don't have
relationship is.
I don't have clarification on when did you come to know AAS and how that relationship is today. You're basically telling me the history of the relationship.
Right, I'm telling you
Um,
how I got to know her. I got to know her based upon this person that was stalking me. Me and her connected around the same time. We all connected around the same time is when we all Derail, Star, all that. We all kind of it was all in that same time frame.
December,
Um
January.
Around ish, yeah, something like
Okay.
that. And
Mhm.
she came in support of me, like, hey, I understand how you're feeling about this person, whatever. She never did nothing to me. I don't have no smoke with her. I don't have no beef with her. I don't know what she's done, hasn't done. It's not really my situation to know. Only AAS can speak for AAS. But as far as how
Mhm.
our relationship is now, I'm mad cool with her. I don't have no beef with her. I don't have no issues with her because she hasn't done anything to me. And I'm not just going to not like her because everyone else don't like her. But then I also
Yeah.
let her know the same thing, just because you don't like a person doesn't mean that I have to not like them. Like there are people that she doesn't like that I like. I know that there are
Mhm.
people on this panel that you guys don't get along, but that's not going to stop me. Like I know her and T don't get along, but I like T's
Absolutely.
content. I
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
been
yeah.
watching T. I watch T for her psychic stuff. I've been a
Yeah,
subscriber of T for a
absolutely.
minute,
And I
and
Oh, okay,
appreciate
I
that.
didn't know that.
I
Yeah.
have one more question. Will you expound on how Gloria Murray came to be on your radar?
well, what you mean as far as just like on YouTube wise, how she came on my radar?
Yes.
She came on my radar just because her and another YouTuber had got into another person that I know from YouTube had got into it, like a situation that they were dealing with. And when they said the name, I was like, that's not the same person. And I looked and I'm like looking at the picture and I'm like, oh snap. And I again was like, what? Like
Do
that's
you care
shocking. Like
to
I don't
name that
believe that.
person? Do you care to
No,
name
because
that
I'm not trying to
person?
be messy. No, because I didn't come here for drama or to be messy.
Okay. Well, it was just basically for my clarity, because if I'm going to pass judgment on someone, I'd definitely like to know some type of history about them. You know what I mean? Um, but I thank you for that. I thank you for that.
Yeah, but no, it's not. And again, I don't have no beef with Gloriana. Gloriana ain't never do nothing to me. And again, like I said, for her industry, she was a bad bitch. Like I knew exactly who she was when they showed me a picture. I was like, no way. I actually looked up to her in the industry. So I was like, that's shocking or whatever. And that's what I said. I said that. I was like, hmm. But as far as her, I don't have no beef with her. I don't
Yeah.
know her. I never made any content about her. Never talked about her. Went on
And
one panel, heard what was said, and that was it.
can I say something to kind of redirect the topic back to the division between women? Okay, so
Thank you.
let
Yes.
me.
Thanks,
Okay,
twin. Go right ahead.
all right. So we have established on this panel that there are men that try to dictate how a lot of us females interact with each other. And we typically, as women, even as younger women, we fall out, we make up, he said, she said, and we get past that point, right? What I also wanted to point out how women can cause that division too. And as you guys speak about this woman, there's a woman also in this sector that Breaking the Culture does not know about that has also caused a severe division also. And that is why it's kind of hard. It's a sore spot for a lot of the women in the sector because it's bad enough when a male is causing division and against women, right? Using us, trying to manipulate these storylines and make things happen. But then when you have a woman who goes into other sectors and bring people over to attack the women that are here, that is where um that is where we're at right now, it feels like, because that's what it seemed like has happened. And then we're all like kind of, merging together behind what the men are doing. But at some point, we have to address the elephant in the room, because as women, we should not be this divided. Like we have difference of opinions, right? We have different ways of thinking. We all have that. And we can go back and forth. But when you have a woman who is like behind the scenes and doing things and spinning storylines and narratives without any proof and causing a lot of conflict between women, and it's actually she is she is supposed to be skilled at actually conflict resolution, and it hasn't been a conflict resolution. And a lot of these beefs that a lot of the women are having in this sector, or the stuff that we experience in these chat rooms, were caused by this one person. And because if I'm rocking with a content creator, and then I have a woman making videos about me, right? Or saying that,
Mm-hmm.
us women are doing this and doing that, that is a problem. Like we have a Smurfette in the sector, but then we also have a very another demonic being in the sector that is doing the same thing.
A Gargamel and a Azrael.
Yeah, so we
Well, I
have
have a
both.
question based on that then. Like, to piggyback off of what you're saying, how do you guys feel about women sitting on panels with men just attacking women? Like sitting on a panel full of men just talking about women in general, like sexualizing them, sexually harassing them, talking about their
Wait,
uterus and
Okay,
like
can
how do you
you
guys feel about
cover
that?
but can you
okay,
cover the
so
part that Joe just brought up? Because I
no,
think where she
let
was
me
gonna go with
let
it,
me
that lady
let
talks
me
sexual
let me
harassment
finish.
and
Let
sexual
me
things about
let
people
me
too.
finish. Let me finish. I have never sat on a panel like all the women that are sitting like on this panel with you have never sat
Mm-hmm.
on a panel with men harassing women. Now, we frequent chats of men who have done that, and we disagree with it, but we have never sat on a panel and sat on a panel where the man is sitting there harassing that woman. And what happens is that that's where you're caught off guard because you come on the panel and you're there talking, and next thing you know, two people who are from a different sector or maybe a different chat comes up there and then they start ranting, and then you're just sitting on the panel. Normally I just fall off.
Me too.
Sometimes people are in the chat and they're just in the chat and they're not even listening to the content creator. So the thing about it is that, yeah, there have been situations where women were on panels. I'll give you an example. there was the whole couch potato going at Tiffany Griff. And they were going back and forth. I wasn't on the panel. I wasn't in that chat or anything. I just saw a replay of the video and I was shocked that that happened. So it just is then we go back to that channel and, not every last one of us is sitting here watching play by play. Like I never got breaking the culture. I never got to see the video of what D. Durrell did to you, right? I never got to see it. He took it down before I could see it. You did the video. I didn't get to see it. I had to hear it like second or third hand, right? And so I didn't have a strong opinion or anything because I'm just listening to what, I'm listening to it in real time. You can't assume that everybody in the sector is catching every little thing that occurs or happens. We're not sitting here recording videos consistently on a daily basis and downloading. Now I'm the chat sector, so I do the chat, but we're not doing that. So, but there is someone in the sector that is doing that. And she's doing that consistently. She's catching word for word and piecing things together. And that has caused a lot of tension. And we're all putting it together. I mean, you're new here, so I'm not even holding you accountable for this. I'm talking to all the ladies in our sector where we feel like this has happened. Now, I'm not giving you the side eye or anything. Do I feel like there's some manipulation on this lady's part when it comes to you? Yes, I do believe that. I believe that she uses a lot of manipulation. I've been watching for a very long time. I'm that person. But what I'm saying is I'm not holding you to the fire because of that. What I'm saying is that we're all coming together and combining with each other. And we're saying it's wrong for any woman to be sexually harassed online or stalked or even talked to in that way. We all agree that that should never happen. But we also have a woman in the sector has done the same thing. I have never sexually harassed a woman in the sector or talked a woman under her clothes and made a video about it. I have a channel too. I have never made a video making comments, saying things like that. But I have attacked one woman in the sector because I feel that there's manipulation. And I see something wrong, I'm going to call it out.
Okay, well, I agree, and I do think that that is true, right? But here's my problem with what and where the direction of this conversation is going, okay? The whole issue that I had with LV this morning was the fact that he literally took another situation that went on in the sector to fight breaking the culture of silence in her situation with Durrell, which is a real situation. Okay. Right. And that has always happened with the women. Our voice is constantly silenced, including AAS's. Let's keep it real.
But do you feel that that's because we're giving, and when I say we, I mean women as a whole, do you feel that these men are as comfortable as they are because women as a whole, we have given them the space to get that comfortable?
Yes.
Yeah. I think
that point.
I definitely think that we did not do a good job of setting boundaries. And when the sector really started heating up around COVID. So we didn't do a good job of setting boundaries at that point. And now we're at a point where we're like, fuck this. It's some things that need to be changed. The women, we already know we're the ones that run the sector. So we just may have to just break off from these dudes and let them do whatever stupid shit that they want to do. And we stay over here in our corner and do what we need to do for us to collectively get along and to make things happen and make a good space for us women. Because I'm at the point where I'm like, we don't even need these dudes because they're not doing anything but stressing us out, causing extra problems. I
But look what
mean,
happened when Carrie was the voice of reason for that exact thing that you're saying, Money. Carrie was the one who wasn't even a part of the sector like that, right?
mm-hmm,
That was
mm-hmm,
her whole idea. Like she saw in the women that they were so much more and kept putting it out there. Hey, what's
mm-hmm.
up?
So
What's
much
up?
more to offer.
Yes.
Yes.
And then
Mm-hmm,
Eyes came along and she got dogged out immediately just for saying the WNP. What was
mm-hmm.
that right? WPN, the Women's Power Network or whatever.
Oh yeah,
It
they
was
made a
like,
whole
oh,
mockery out of
yeah,
that.
they made a mockery. And the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing is, so see, this thing today and yesterday, no, it's not a division between the sexes at all. It's always been we were kept down. And like you said, the boundaries weren't set. But at the same time, how confident are these men with themselves to
Not
even
very.
to knock down Carrie and I's idea?
They're
Well,
not very
I
confident, and it seems like there must be a level of them being afraid, or maybe they don't want to feel left out, or they don't want to feel stupid. I don't know, but um, if we leave and we
I
do
mean,
our
I
own
do agree
thing,
with that. I
yeah,
agree with that.
yeah, I think if we leave and
People
do
were
our own
scared.
thing,
People were
yeah,
fearful.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of women didn't don't want to come on the panel. I remember when I first came on Smoke's panel and he was having ladies' night, I felt uncomfortable, so I didn't do that. And the reason why is because I felt like I'm not cattle. This man is ranting back and forth and licking his chops. And then the men were coming in there making comments. And I
mm-hmm.
thought, I don't want to be up here like this. And so, yeah, I mean, I moved the way I moved, and I can't expect people to move the way I do, but I do not agree with what LV said. It's like comparing apples to oranges. Carrie said
Exactly.
it's a false
False equivalency.
equivalency.
Yep.
And people like us are allowed to self-correct, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what I don't understand why people in the Black community, Black women, Black men, why we can't self-correct. Why can't we say, you know what, at first it seemed like it was fun, it was a good idea, but
Mm-hmm.
look what it turned into. So let's turn this around. Let's self-correct. Let's change some things. Why can't we do that? And when I was talking about her, I was saying that the manipulation with men has a lot to do with it. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying that she's attacking women. I'm saying that it's always been behind a male. If it's not her little friend, or the whole, this is the Umar Johnson sector, it was always behind a man. And I'm not saying that the men here are bad. There's a lot of decent men in the chat that have panels, that have, they're
Mm-hmm.
decent, but they're not perfect either. But we just have to, you know, hold them accountable. Some things ain't worth laughing at. When I realize that a person is preying on people and making sly comments that are inappropriate, I'll either say something. I remember, and I'm going to bring this up because this happened to Spottum. I remember Spottum had said something to somebody, and they all held Spottum to the fire. Remember that
Mm-hmm.
in the
I
Yep.
second,
do. Yep.
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 everybody did.
Yep.
Spottum
Yeah, I
apologized,
remember that too.
and to this, he was allowed to self correct,
Mm-hmm.
and now everybody's cool with him. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not
Except
a
for when they get mad at something that they disagree with him saying, then it goes back to black heart, demon, all that stuff.
right,
But see, that goes in one ear out the other. You have to think about it, QT. Who are the only people that are trying to throw that situation back up in Spot on Space? People
Yep.
that
The
don't
people
like
that
him.
Joe was talking about. Yep.
Exactly. People that don't like him. Because it's
so
okay, sorry. Go on ahead,
So what I
Joe.
was saying is, I think the men in the sector are redeemable. I don't think that we should, we're not saying don't deal with this person or deal with that person. We're addressing what we've seen and how we can move forward and really really look at what goes on when we're chatting or we actually are on panels. We don't have to participate, but we don't need to be abused when we chose not to.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might
Yes.
not say anything because they just, like me, some things I ignore. Like I'm not going to his chat if
And
he
some of us
talks like
just
that.
unsub. And even in doing that, that's hypocrisy. We're fake. But that's our way of silently saying, this is not for me. And we should all be allowed to do that as
Yep.
adults.
But that's the thing, people aren't giving people the room for that. And that's what I've been screaming for literally 2 years, where I'm literally screaming, I'm allowed to say that I don't want to participate in something. And me not wanting to participate in that does not give you the right to harass me. That does not give you the right to do what you're doing. And that's the problem. People are scared. Like, I remember when I first came into this sector, and I remember just being in just other, like, some chats, like, I remember I said something in the chat and I was just like telling my experience of a person that I had in a chat, and they was like, oh, well, you ain't going to get help over here because this is the norm. This is what we do. And I was just like, well, hold on. This is a group full of people that are just okay with like this type of behavior and this type of thing. And then to see so many women supporting it, I was just confused because it's just like, so basically the women aren't setting boundaries, because the the fact that this man felt so comfortable coming for me the way he did, he was given that comfort. He didn't just get that comfort overnight. Like, that was something that he built up to get to that point, to even do these things, making songs about women, whether we like the women or dislike the women. Like, if, like, you guys know, there's a particular person in your group that I don't like, but if I saw her completely just being like, if people were like, yo, I'm gonna stick a dildo in her mouth and I would be like, hold on, y'all doing too much. Like, that's not cool. Like, the thing is that these people are given space to do these things, and that's why the men feel so comfortable. There were a few men that did stand up and say like, yo, dude, you were wrong, but there's not enough men checking each other. There were a couple that did, but I just feel like
100% agree. Hmm.
the women are allowing it, and that's why they're so comfortable, because they wouldn't, like, I know in my personal life, none of the men in my personal life are going to sit around and call me bitches and whores. Why? Because they know that I have boundaries. You know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't do that to me because I've set the boundary, like I've set the expectation. But I just feel like, and not even just in your guys' sector, it's happened in my sector. I've seen it
Hmm.
happen. Heck, I've seen it happen in the mommy sector. Like, I'm like, dude, we over here talking about parenting. How y'all over here cussing each other out and calling each other whores, and we were here talking about kids and cookies and stuff? Like, teach me
But
how
if
to
I
make a
can
lunch.
speak to
Like, what
that
are you
real quick,
doing?
if I can speak to that real quick, because I actually today I had a lot of the men in the sector that reached out to me either by email or by by comments or whatever the case may be. I was really surprised, and shout out, like I said, to most of the men in the sector, because a lot of the men in the sector are not tolerating this. And
Mm-hmm. That's true.
they did speak about it. Now, the ones who had, emailed or whatever I got, I'll tell you, a lot of them said that they do not want to be that man that has to go back and forth with some grown ass 40-plus-year-old man. You understand what I'm saying? On YouTube, and have this
Right.
public drawn out, brawl with this man. And I totally, totally understand that, because that is the reason why most of us women have not spoken up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I even went through an experience like that, where I said, I made a video, and really I wasn't, in my mind, I wasn't disrespecting this man. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't feel like I had disrespected him. I felt like I had spoke the truth, okay? And I was speaking so much truth that it turns out that a lot of that is actually true now. Most people agree with what I actually said, but I got dragged around in these YouTube streets for a couple of months. You understand what I'm saying? Over me just simply
Mm-hmm.
saying what I felt about something. And I didn't call him out his name. I didn't like, fuck you. Like, none of that came out. I was just talking about what actually happened. You understand what I'm saying? Which
Right.
was, there was a bunch of trolls, and part of that had a lot to do with people striking his channel. And next thing you know, and people sending him community strikes and copyright strikes over and over again. Next thing you know, YouTube snatched his channel. And I said so. I made a video about it. I got dragged all over fucking YouTube for that. Do you understand? By a man, a whole man. You understand what I'm
Well,
saying?
and that's
And
the thing. That's what makes it worse because you don't come across to me as the type of woman that is like rah rah and you're like in a bunch of dudes' faces back and forth with them. So it can be intimidating, especially when it's a man attacking you simply for having an opinion.
that's what I'm saying. And like I said, I wasn't disrespectful. I didn't feel like I disrespected him or any of that. It's just some men, and I'm not speaking to him because I think everybody would know who I'm talking about in the sector. I'm not speaking to just him. But there's a lot of men in this sector who are very fragile, okay? And when you say anything, they just really get in their bag, like in their feelings about you just speaking the truth. You understand what I'm saying? And really, you're just giving them good advice or you're telling them something. You're not saying anything out, calling them out their name or anything crazy. You just, so women, I learned from that, from that experience alone. Like, I don't got shit to say to you niggas. You understand what I'm saying? Like, okay, you want to jump off a fucking cliff out here? That's your business. But when it comes to the women, you're not going to keep dragging women all over the damn place, especially the way that shit came out with D. Durrell the other day. I just thought that was just so over the top. And I understand why men are not jumping up in these men's face because they don't want to get into an all-out, drawn-out brawl with niggas and you getting doxxed and you getting all this. Nobody wants to go through that. You understand what I'm saying? So now that we are going in this direction, what are we now going to do? I really think that the women and the men need to change the tone of the sector. If niggas is out of line and doing that shit, we not tolerating that shit. Why are y'all still sitting around kikiing and laughing over that stuff? And this is the nigga that's actually representing you for the sector. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, y'all got to draw the line somewhere. The men in the sector are going to have to start speaking up because the women do not want to be windmilling these grown ass men. Like, I don't. I know y'all might have heard me cuss a couple of these niggas out, and I don't have no problem doing that. But I don't want to do that because they're not my damn son. You understand what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to discipline these niggas. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. And I really need the men to kind of step up a little bit more with this, and checking these men or, and not being so quick, LV, to check the women because that was ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Well, I found it interesting that he like used my whole picture, posted me, dragged me, and I'm like, okay.
And I'm
I
like,
didn't do
why?
anything to
He
this
has
man.
no
Why you
stake
not
in that
addressing
game.
him? I'm
He
like,
had
you ain't
no
addressing
stake in that.
him.
Exactly. He had no stake in that whatsoever. But these men in the
Well, my thing
sector,
is, I could see if I had.
some of the men in the sector are used to when one of the quote unquote prominent men in the sector go in on a woman, they all hop on the bandwagon. You understand what I'm saying? But I think most of the men looked at that situation and knew that wasn't smart. You understand what I'm saying? Number one, you're not part of this sector, so you're not used to this type of stuff. And this is what I've been trying to explain to some people for a long time. Other sectors are not doing some of the shit that people are doing in this sector. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, even though other people do, but most sectors are not doing some of these rules that this sector has come up with. You understand what I'm saying? So, this stuff is foreign to people. And so for Durrell to have done that and to be going in on a woman like as if you ain't got no problem contacting some folks over him. You understand what I'm saying? And that you're not going to be subjected to people like Stargate might be, or like people in this sector might, just pipe down and not say much. I don't understand. I guess that's where he gets that from. Is that,
Well, and I feel like if we don't stand up, they're gonna keep doing it, and that's the whole point.
exactly.
It's like you gotta
That's
stand up,
my
and people are
point.
like, "Oh, you're a punk. You're gonna get the
No,
law involved," or
sometimes
"Oh, you're
it's
a punk.
okay
You're
just
gonna do
to.
this," and it's like, no, you
What
can't
about
keep
just
doing
walking
this.
away sometimes? Because I get what you're saying, but this is the other part of it too. It almost plays into what you were talking about, how you see panels and women are going in on other women with the guys. See, that's the type of shit that happens over here. So let's just say, for example, you know, people want to call Darrell out, the women, right? Just say, hey, I don't like that, or whatever the case may be. Understand he has other women who will then come at you. And it's going to not just be the women who are down with him, it's going to be the guys too. And it's just a never ending cycle, you know? And that's why I'm just kind of like, I liked the idea of what Carrie and Eyes were talking about. There are, pockets of female channels now. And see, in my opinion, it's like, okay, like this type of situation, do a live, do a panel. And when you see the foolishness, it's just like click block. It's just that, do that. And then we can't worry about the next day what the sound bites will be. Because see, that's us playing
Well,
into the
that's the
shit
thing,
too.
but I'm not gonna be quiet and I'm not gonna ignore it, because if we keep
No,
ignoring
I'm
it
not
and we
talking
keep
about you. I'm
being
talking about this
quiet, no
sector. Not,
one's
yeah, I'm
gonna.
talking about this
But
sector.
I'm
Like,
saying just in
yeah,
general, as women, though, that's the problem. Women are so used to taking L's all the time. Like, we're so used to being
Hmm.
if
silenced. We're
you have
so,
your own
like,
channel,
seriously.
it's not taking an L, in my
But it's not
opinion.
about I don't mean it as far as sector to sector. I don't mean
Yeah,
it. I When I say we're taking L's, I'm saying as far as we're constantly being disrespected, we're
right.
constantly being berated, we're constantly like, and it's never ending. And I feel that the reason why is because people won't speak up. Like, for instance, when I spoke up about what happened to me 2 years ago, which would, the situation that made me go viral to where I'm even on the internet. If I would have remained silent and I would have been quiet, so many women would have been more harmed than when I spoke up. And like, sure, it sucked. And I went through pure hell. I went through being dragged. I went through hell, like hell. But me speaking up helped a lot of people in the end. And I was able to shut it down to where that person is no longer doing, or he doesn't have the scale, or he doesn't have the platform to do what he was doing.
Mhm.
I cut it short. I chopped it short to where his victims became less. He didn't have a praying ground, as I would like to call it. He didn't have
Right.
praying grounds because I stopped it. I took the praying grounds from him, and it's like, okay, now you got to go find somewhere else to go. You're not gonna mess with the people over here. You got to do something somewhere else. And now
Mhm.
you don't have the name or the clout or whatever to do what you do, because now people know who you are when they see you. And I just personally feel like if we keep being silent, it's literally the whole what happens in this house stays in this house. That is deadly to me. That is deadly. That is why so many people are damaged, because that is such a toxic thing. Like, no, if these people are doing this stuff to women, women have to speak up, or it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop.
I see. I agree with you in real life, but in this, I just,
But how is this not real life? But how would it's like, for
because
instance, with
okay,
D
okay,
Rel,
I'll
I'll
explain.
say,
I'll explain. Now, what you're going through with him, that's real life because you have to follow through with what you have to follow through with because of what happened. Yes, that's real life. Okay, in my opinion, what I was talking about when it comes to because, and I'm just talking about this sector. Okay, just keep that in mind. I'm talking about this sector on YouTube. We can get on about our damn business. And when I say moving on, because we're having this conversation now, right? So this is us talking about it, putting it out there. I'm saying I don't need every day, right? To whenever a man has something funky to say about a female, the need to go and check them when I don't need to be over there in the first place. That's what I meant because we're now with even with this conversation establishing something that could be a great thing for women. And by that, I mean moving on to our space as women where we can talk about what we want to talk about, feel free and comfortable in what we want to talk about. And the next day, we don't care about what sound bites you have. Why? Because we're not messing with you anyway, because you ain't shit. That's what I'm saying. If we move like that as a collective, see, that takes that power away. That's just my feeling on it because
I
we're making
100% agree with
progress.
that. Yep, like we just like I've already started that trend of just not tuning in. You understand what I'm saying? I can care less. I don't even know if LV created a response video or not because
Yeah, and,
I
and
actually
breaking story
unsubbed
just helped
today.
us all out. Do you agree? Do you agree, T Pre, that by breaking what she's doing right now, having brought this to light, you just helped us all. That's what I'm saying. You
Yes,
did the work. And that's what I'm saying. We don't have to go back and forth anymore because this is out there now. You see, we all got a
that,
wake up call.
yeah. I agree. That's why I think you were a very important part of this conversation, breaking the culture, because you definitely, the situation with you and Darrell is what kind of spearheaded this. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that it took this and it took this long, but I'm glad it did. And I'm glad it's all coming out. And I think everybody in the sector can kind of learn something from this. You know, we've been really quiet about some things, and we can still remain quiet. We don't have to go back and forth with folks. If that's what niggas want to do, they want to jump off a cliff, let them do that shit by themselves. I made that very clear in that video the other day, that I know how to let people be on an island alone. You understand what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do, I can't stop you. I have refused to let my blood pressure be run up going back and forth with you every day on what you feel. You can make any video you want, say whatever you want, but I promise you that if collectively as a whole, if the people in the sector who have their minds right would just simply not tune in, I promise you that would fuck with your numbers. So, and I know it would. So I'm done with it. You understand what I'm saying? And I do think that we should definitely, and I'm not into cancel culture per se, but when it comes to this, I really think niggas need to understand some shit. Okay? That we are no longer going to tolerate the disrespect and the dragging and the behavior. We're also not going to be silent on conversations and situations. If you do something that is egregious and we feel like we want to speak on it, we are going to speak on it and we are going to back each other. We're not going to, if you want to be the fool to jump out in the fucking pit in the fire, that's your business. If you get burnt, that's your problem. Okay? Because we are definitely going to speak on some shit. And I refuse to let any of these niggas or anybody silence me out here. That's just that.
And again, we got some real men who will jump on board with us too. We don't forget that part. There are some real men.
There are some real men.
Yes, they are.
There are some real men.
They'll come with us.
I will say, I don't know if you guys, I will say there was one guy that, and I don't know how everybody feel about the person. I don't really know the person, but I will say shout out to Propane, because I will say from what I saw, for me, like, he immediately was just like, for what I saw, he was the first person. I'm not saying he was the first person, but from my eyeballs and my ears, he definitely checked the situation, and he was just like, right is right and wrong is wrong. I could say the girl ain't do nothing to you. There was no reason for you to go that far. And like, so I definitely know for a fact that there are men that will stand up for women. And again, I'm not even saying that people have to cancel this guy. I'm not saying that people have to not talk to him, have to deal with them. People can do whatever they want to do. But as for me, you're not going to keep doing this to me when I'm not doing anything to you and think that it's okay. I'm going to press the gas and I'm going to do what I need to do because I asked you to stop so many times. And then you just went overboard. And then you keep lying about it. Like, I didn't say anything. All I said was she's skinny. No, you didn't. If that's all you said, I've been hearing I'm skinny since I was like 2. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine, but that's not what you did. And it's just like, I just want people to understand that it's not okay. Like, you don't have the right to just keep attacking people and thinking that, like, people just want to bully you in silence. And it's like, no, I'm not going to be silent. You don't get to do that anymore. So
yeah, that's what
I'm
they've
not,
been used
again,
to. That's what they've been
like,
used
I'm
to.
not
But it's a
asking
new
people
day. It's
to
a new
cancel the
day, and we're
man or
not letting that
nothing.
happen no more. Let me let a couple other people
So-
talk. There's been a few ladies on the panel that have not had a chance to really talk yet. Glorion and also Money to Burn.
Yeah, I'm
I
here.
also want to say something too, Miss T. Pre, because I'm about to go to bed.
Okay, Nikki, if you wanted to go ahead, Nikki, you can say what you want to say if you want to jump off. I appreciate you being up here tonight too.
My pleasure. I like, being around good people and having some stimulating conversation. But no, Glorion, go ahead and go.
Okay.
Oh no, I mean I wasn't gonna say anything spectacular because T Pre already said it. So it's like, but I guess the thing I can't wrap my head around is like with us in Star, it was personal. Like we've been around her for a minute, but then to me it's a all of a sudden type of thing with breaking breaking the I keep on wanting to say breaking the code of silence. I know that's not right, but to me, it was kind of like left field because she was just over there and she was just chopping it up with everybody with Conscious TV and Knockout Media. And it was like things were just good just a week ago. So my thing is, there was nothing personal between you two that led to the lies or whatever. Because with us, she had, I wouldn't say like a friendship or whatever, but there was communications between us and her, whether it was online or offline. So that's what I'm still trying to figure out, the why part of why she came at you so hard. Um, I mean, if you have an insight to that, I mean,
Are you
because to
talking
me,
about me? Are you talking about me coming hard at someone
no,
or
no, her coming hard at you, like the whole beef
oh
and the
wait,
whole
this
thing
is
in general.
Glorion, right? You're Glorion,
Yeah,
right? Well,
yeah,
first for you go, I do want to say what I said to you in a private chat because I feel since I did come for you publicly, I can be a woman and apologize to you publicly. Again,
thank
as
you.
I said in the back chat, if you felt that I did anything to you that was hurtful or harmful, I will say because you genuinely never did anything to me. And as I said, I know exactly who you are. And what I said in the back chat when I was shocked, because I was like, I know exactly who she is, and I'm shocked. I don't even, this is weird. Like, is this really true? But you're right. I did take something that was given to me and I ran with it and I was wrong for that. So I can definitely tell you from the bottom of my heart, I apologize if I offended you or hurt you in any way.
Thank
Because you
you. And
didn't deserve that, not from me anyway. You didn't deserve it from me.
what I really thank you for that. I really do appreciate that. And I just want to say before I get back to what we was talking about, like I can honestly say, as a sector in the whole, we did choose sides, and we choose sides because we like the person that we were siding with, and a lot of us saw that, that person or people were moving funny, so we backed out of it. And then those very same people got mad and they started doing what they was doing, and you know, talking about people, lying on people, and the whole 9 yards. So me myself, I don't hold things that deeply within, but I do appreciate your apology. And there's no smoke between me and you. I understand and I get it because she has done that with a lot of people. And the moment that you disagree or say something is wrong or you shouldn't go about it that way, that's that stirs up problems between her and that person. So, and I never tell people who to be friends with or anything like that. I just tell them be careful. And that's all I got to say with that situation. But like I was saying, like when I caught the live on Conscious TV, it was like she was coming for you like in some hatred, like you did something to her. And that poses the question, like, did y'all have any
When I
communications?
tell you, I have never spoken to that girl or mentioned her. I didn't know who she was. I genuinely, the first time I ever heard her again was on Binary Channel. Because again, I went on Binary's channel. I saw that he was live. They were up there talking about something. And I like looked in the comments or I said something in the chat, like, the little eyes or whatever. And next thing you know, she's talking about how I sleep with married men. And she did it again. But I knew that she had heard. And it was funny because I think it was Propane. He actually was like, I'm glad that you did that live with CTV tonight. He was like, because he was like quiet as kept. This has been the rumor of you in our sector. Our sector has known you to be basically just this whore that just go around sleeping with married men. He was like, and I
Mm.
actually have heard that rumor. So thank you for clearing that up and proving that it was a lie. And I was just like, but it validates what I was saying, that Star had been saying this about me. And I know where she got it from, but she didn't have a right or a reason to do that to me. And she blatantly lied on me. And when I tell you, I promise you, I have never had a conversation with that girl prior. I had never said that girl's name prior, nothing. Like,
Yeah,
I barely even created
That was
content
pure. That
prior to
was
all of
pure.
this.
That was
breaking the
pure.
culture. Do you think that Binary might have put her up to that just to get
I
That's
content with
that's
the
what
genuinely,
I'm
I
also
did
thinking.
I
It's
did
like just
say
to get
that to
content and
CTV.
conflict and all
I
that
did
type of
say
stuff
that to
going.
CTV. I did say, I wonder if, because I thought it was weird. I was like, I don't understand why this woman is coming for me so hard. And people were like, well, it's because Binary keeps commenting on your looks and saying like how you look and stuff, and maybe it made her jealous. And I'm like, but even
That's
still,
part
like,
of it.
I'm a woman. I've been jealous before. I've been jealous of other women before, you know? And like, I model, I see gorgeous girls all the time where I'm like, dang, I'm not that fit, or I'm not that skinny, or I'm not that tall, you know, but I'm not going to just go around just lying on them though.
Yeah,
Like,
and being mean and making
yeah,
stuff
so I
up.
don't
Yeah.
know. Like, when I tell you I really don't know what Star's issue is with me, I did say, and I was like, I wonder if Binary put her up to it, but I don't want to put that on him because I really don't know if he did or didn't. But it
Yeah,
did make
yeah.
me wonder because of the way that it was just their interaction that night. And it was like when he left, she was looking for a lifeline and he wasn't there. And it was like,
Mm.
It just made me wonder. I was like, I don't think this is all her, because once he got off the panel, her smoke kind of died down.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to put this out there, and it has been the consensus of a lot of the women in the sector and men that all of this new dredged up drama, the women hate me, they're coming for me, they're bullying me, all that came from some concocted script of this is how we're going to turn the sector upside down type of situation.
Yeah.
So all of us on the panel, all of us have been attacked by the Cole fam, and we've all been this whole like whatever month or whatever it's been. They hate us and ew, and they want to talk about our marriages and our husbands, and we're hypocrites, and it really all just came out of nowhere. So that's what I think is really suspect. It's like, okay, we was all cool, just like Glorian said, we was all
Just
cool
a
just
week
a week
ago.
ago, and then now, it's all types of lies being made up on us. And I'm at the point where it's like, believe what you want to believe.
Facts.
I'm just disengaging because I have other things that I have going on. I know the truth. I know the shit, whatever they're talking about does not apply to me. They can go on ahead, say whatever they want to say. I'm just in disengaging, and my advice to everybody that's going through this with these people to just disengage, just drown them out, just strangle them out. If we don't engage with them, they don't have a lifeline. They
That
won't
part.
have no comment. I mean, no content. And if they want to alienate themselves, that's cool, because look at us, look at all of us women, we're all coming together. My hope for us and for stuff for all of us women to kind of come together and start talking about real stuff, businesses, making money, traveling, motherhood, relationships, that like we can leave that whole Umar sector behind, and whatever dudes that want to, join up with us that have sense, they're more than welcome to. But I challenge all of us ladies to come together and do something different and fuck all that shit over there.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
this is not honestly, this is not making no type of sense.
None.
It's all over the place. It's kind of hard to try to build when when you literally wake up and you watch YouTube and it's a new narrative that is trying to cause divisions between one woman and another, or one man and another man, and all this foolishness. I'm not built for it. Like, it's never my thing. I was never into that. And if it's ever a platform when that type of nonsense is going on, I keep it moving. Like, I don't like the mob mentality anyway. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if you did something, you've been on that fuck shit, listen, this is just what you deserve, because really you deserve more than a bunch of people talking about you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the unnecessary, the stupidness between just making up a bunch of shit about people
And,
that have not done
add to
nothing
that though,
to
Glow.
you,
Add to that, Glow.
that
The
supported you.
people that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. These people that have come, attacked us, lied on us for content, clicks, and views, we have supported them financially, liked and shared, subscribed, paid for their memberships, all that.
Exactly.
And then one day we wake up and we're the devil. I mean, let them tell it. Money to Burn is the boogeyman of the sector. So I'm like, I'm not even going to engage with y'all with that no more. Say what you want to say. I don't care because I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I know what type of value I bring to any table I come up to, that I sit up to. So I don't need their validation. And at this point, I think that's what we all should do. But I understand breaking the culture of silence. Your situation is completely different and a lot more serious, and you'll handle that, the best that you how or you can. But as for the rest of us, if they want to keep on starting rumors, I tell them just go finish listening to the rumors. Don't bring it over here to me because I don't care.
Right.
Man,
And
at this point,
also,
I mean, real quick, T
mhm,
Pre,
sure.
because I told you before that we called hell because of who we supported, who we
Yeah.
held up 10 toes down,
Yep.
Yeah.
supporting them, and
Yep.
we got ambushed with fire. So
Mhm.
my motto is like, suck a dick and keep it moving. I don't got time for this. I don't.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Which is like what leads me to, and I'm about to actually end this. It's about 2 hours and 17 minutes in. So I
Don't
just
forget
wanted,
about me.
huh?
Nikki's
I said
still
I'm still
there.
here.
Oh no, go ahead, Nikki. I was gonna
No,
say go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead, because I don't want you to lose train of thought. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask everybody to say if anybody had any final thoughts.
I do, T Pre. If you don't mind, it's Keeper.
Sure. Hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted to, just clarify my reasoning for my questions, to breaking the code of silence. I just like to have an understanding about things. And, when you look up and you see like sectors clashing, you try to have an understanding as to, well, how did this mixture happen? You know what I'm saying? As I stated before, I don't know a lot of the different players in different sectors, right? So that was basically the reason for my questioning. So I didn't want you to feel like, I was badgering you or anything like that. And the reason AAS was brought up was because I did notice she did come into the live that night, and being in other chats and things like that, that question was posed. So I said, okay, well, this seems like a perfect time to ask that question. So from my understanding, you did clarify a lot of that on another panel. Unfortunately, I did miss that live. So again, I just wanted to clarify that.
No worries. I
Okay.
mean, I'm not upset about it. I don't have a problem with you asking questions. That's what we're supposed to be here for in the first place.
Right, right. Okay, I
Right.
appreciate that. Thanks a lot. All right, T Pre, I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, before you go, I wanted to tell you I appreciated you asking those questions because it got to show a side of where the women are able to talk to one another. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like really have a discussion and just get
Absolutely.
questions out, and then that also would also erase the premise that, oh, the women are just, they don't know anything about her. They're just automatically just holding her. You know what I mean? And that whole idea that we're done with all of those, that nonsense and all of that stuff. And we just want to get to know each other as women, as content creators, and just go all about YouTube and get to know each other without being held to some type of weird ass, I don't know what they want us to do, but I'm done with that stuff too. I think we should start off our own sector or keep our sector what it is, and they just get out the sector. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely, absolutely. Well,
and
I
and
will
that's
add to
what it
that.
is.
Most men they do like to see a good cat fight every once in a while. I just put that
Mhm.
out there.
Absolutely. And if we could
Hmm.
keep that out of their radar, I think we're good. So it's
Absolutely.
beautiful to have panels like this. I think all of us on the panel, except Money to Burn and Glorion, we all have our own channels. You know what I mean? So everybody, make sure you guys subscribe over to Breaking the Culture of Silence, Keeper 116, Nikki Proctor Walden as well. And anybody else that is in the chat room, I know sometimes I get carried away, has a channel. The Josephine chat sector, Josephine sector, she has a channel. And Brown Sugar Baby also has a channel. And Spotum also has a channel, so make sure you guys check him out, and TMK Media as well. Any final thoughts, ladies, before we do end the show? And I'm going to give my final thoughts at the end.
So there were a couple of observations that I wanted to share, and I'll try to do them like bullet points. So in communicating with one another, you can speak to me, but you can't speak for me. And I'm not directing this towards anybody, but I'm talking about in this thing that we've talked about so far with, constructing these narratives, which is why a lot of people are starting to, speak out, because it's like, no, you can't form an identity for me. And what we have demonstrated tonight with Breaking the Culture of Silence is what happens when, again, men get involved and then they want to keep us separated. So that if we're not talking with each other, then it's easy to make us seem like we are adversarial towards one another when that's not the case. We just don't know each other. Some cases. The other thing again was about this, being a punitive, or this is like a haven for bullies and cowards, and predators. The internet should not be a place where these people can kind of just take hold and, go on and do what they want to do and just run amok. And it was something else I was going to say, but again, I lost it in just trying to be patient and, wait to chime in. But damn, I can't even remember what it was. No. You don't have to apologize. I should have wrote it down. What the hell was it? Because as soon as you log off, I'll be like, oh, damn, that's what it was. But no, just, this whole thing of sharing and what have you. Oh, I know what it was. There's also a difference in, being understood versus being understanding. And, I really don't care when people say, oh, we can agree to disagree, this, that, and the third. No, if the goal is to understand why you think or why you're doing what it is that you're doing, then you can come to an agreement. But if we can't even try, to understand one another or to hear each other out, then it's like, what's the purpose? We're not going to ever get to that point. So, this whole thing with, people being in other people's chats and whatnot, and you coming back and, oh, such and such said this, oh, such and such said that, this, that, and the third. This is kind of what keeps us going to some of these other things, because of course if somebody's talking about you, you either do want to hear it for yourself, or, you're going over there to gather your evidence. And I really think that, we can do a better job of talking to each other as opposed to about each other, if you feel comfortable enough to say, hey, I'm not going back to that space again, but T Pre has a space where we can go to, and in hopes that, if this person shows up, then they can come up and have a conversation, and then we can come to some sort of an understanding, just like we saw with Breaking the Culture of Silence and Glorion. So, there are too many people in the middle of the two main people that either may have an issue or could possibly have one. And that's another issue with Star. This whole thing of people being jealous of her, like that right there just fucking blew my mind. Because,
Yeah.
I would rather be a hypocrite than a dummy.
Right.
Hold on, let me say that again. I would rather be a hypocrite than a dummy, because one of the things that my mom always told me is that they ain't shit cute about a dummy. You can't do nothing with them, because every time they open their mouths, that's what they're going to say. And I think Star has done a very good job of earning that. Because even with me disengaging with them, her and Binary talked about me for months.
Mhm.
And I would never say anything to Star because I didn't fall out with Star. Star fell out with herself.
Right.
Good
Definitely
point.
did.
And he just kept
Mhm.
that going, kept it going, kept it going, kept it going. Because it's something in that made her feel good. Like, oh, okay, I got somebody blowing smoke up my butt, and then all of that helium he's blowing in my ass, I can float like a balloon.
Mhm.
And it's like, but Miss, you're doing this at the expense of sisterhood. Because he sat there and let you get your ass handed to you on CTV.
Exactly.
And you
Facts.
went right back over there. So again, I would rather be a hypocrite than a dummy. I
Mhm.
would. So
Well,
again,
and
I
he
don't really
left her
first think about
hanging
that
in the
bullshit.
chat. He
That's
left
what
the
I'm
girl hanging
saying.
and then
He
left.
left
He was like, they
her
blocked me. I'm like, we
hanging.
did not block you.
Girl, he was in there
We
Exactly.
calling
snitched
her a
on her.
bird and everything in that chat.
I
Exactly.
was
I got
shocked.
the
That's what made me
screenshots.
wonder if he put her up to it. I was like, maybe he put her up to it. That's what gave me my first inkling because I'm like, well, hold on. Ain't no way you. That's like you bringing me up here, Nikki, and be like, "All right, breaking the culture. We about to go through this thing," and then you just leave me. Like, what?
Exactly.
How you just gonna leave me?
Knowing that I'm the
Knowing it was
brain
a
and you
lie.
are the do person. So, we know that when she's by herself, she can't, she can't take it. But if Binary is there and they're doing this, I know you can, I know you ain't, no, and all this other kind of stuff, any adult or average adult would grow impatient and frustrated and say, man, fuck this. So, again, ignoring or disengaging doesn't always work. So sometimes you're
Facts.
gonna have to confront that.
Mhm.
That's why I said you can speak to me, but you can't speak for me. Now, when my father passed, Binary did reach out and said, I'm not going to say anything, bad about you anymore. And my thing is this: be who you are. Thank you for acknowledging that I had a loss because it shows that, you did have 10 seconds of humanity. But be who you are. Because trust me, what you put out there is definitely going to come back to you. And I appreciated that. But you acknowledge in that moment that you were crossing all kind of boundaries. And I think that that's all that we're asking for at the end of the day. Respect our boundaries. If I say I don't want to play and I'm not coming to your chat, then keep me out of your mouth. And as women, if you say you rock with me, then I don't have a problem with you being over there in somebody else's chat. But don't you know what I'm saying? Be like, ooh, I'm glad it ain't me, or ooh wee, somebody, like you don't have to chime in. If it's
Right.
something that's funny, then laugh.
Well,
But
laugh.
to be like, ooh, glad it ain't me tonight, or whatever, like that's just fucked up. And we don't have to do that because we
Yeah,
can't stop anybody from going anywhere. But
there
you
should be a
don't have
certain code though. Yeah, you're right.
right, exactly. You don't. You just really, really don't. So again, at the end of the day, my takeaway is I'd rather be a hypocrite than a dummy. So, she want to be a dummy to not be a hypocrite, then bitch, have at it. But we are not evenly matched. And I promise you, let me finish shedding these tears over my daddy because that's the respectful thing to do. And I'm busting asses left and right. And whoever want to come up can get it.
Mm.
That part.
Straight like that. Because I'm not a coward.
Well,
And,
well,
you
we
all
we know
are
that,
picking on
Nikki.
me at a point where you think that I'm weak and I will forever be solid as fuck. Why? Because I hang around women like T Pre and the people on the panel and the people in the chat who are also solid as fuck. We didn't have
Mhm.
not one troll in here tonight. Why? Because if you're going to troll on T Pre channel, you got to pay her $10. I respect that. Come pay her money and then
And
you can
still
troll.
get blocked. And still get
You
blocked.
got to pay, right? But you still got to pay to get up
After they
in this
pay.
bitch. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you gotta
So
pay to play.
again,
Right.
that's all I'm saying. Like, give each other the benefit of the doubt in some cases, and say, hey,
Yep.
and even with, and my last point is this: even with D Darrell, again, I just want to be clear on this. I don't have a problem with D Darrell because he stepped up and he took up for me as a content creator because he knew that I was not a content creator. I was picked on for being in the chat. That's it. And that person who did it thought I did not have a voice. However, what disappointed me again with what he did is that somewhere in there, I always thought that at least that he was a gentleman. And I'm not saying that he's not, but that was not gentlemanly behavior. And again, people make mistakes. And as I said, you're going to jump out there and this and the third. But I do believe in giving people the opportunity to redeem yourself, whether it's an apology, take it down, do whatever. Do something, but show me something. Show me something, because I choose not to see the bad in people. But if that's all you want to show me, at some point in time, I'm gonna have to treat you like you want to be treated, and move on. So that's all I wanted to say. We got to stop speaking for each other and speak to one another. It will resolve a lot of the bullshit.
100% facts.
And thank you, Ms. T. Pre. Again, y'all got to give T. Pre her flowers, because this sister, again, and I strategically came over here for a reason and joined her stuff, has given us a safe space to do what we need to do. And not only that, she has a mouth big enough to say, well, wait a minute, this is my fucking channel, and I will do what I want to do on this channel with who the fuck I want to do it with. And they are safe as well. And I appreciate it.
That's
Nikki,
Nikki,
before you jump off, again, my condolences, sweetheart.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And again, everybody who said something, I am going to post a video at some point in time thanking everybody, because as I said, my dad is my superhero. And this is why these niggas on this bullshit ass whatever can't handle me any old kind of way, because my daddy didn't handle me any old kind of way. He loved me in a special way. And I will be treated as such. The end, goddamn.
Absolutely.
So thank you. I thank you.
Appreciate you being on the show tonight. Breaking the culture of silence. Did you have any final things to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys again for the ladies that did speak up about what happened. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate being able to come up here and sit with you guys. I think all of you guys are dope. I am subscribed to actually most of you, I believe, already. But again, thank you. And it is nice to know that there are safe spaces that women can go to. And I do appreciate you guys not just, prejudging me based on the things that you may have saw or heard. You guys actually gave me the room for you to, see for yourself who I am and what I'm, about or whatever. So I appreciate it. And just thank you for letting me come up.
Absolutely. Thank you for showing the bravery to come up here, because I know it was a lot to just come forth, and I wanted everybody to know that the video is public. You know what I'm saying? That way, you are comfortable talking. Also, I kept the banner up just in case you guys didn't want to, talk, or if you wanted to be anonymous or whatever the case may be. But I appreciate you showing that bravery and coming forth and saying no, and enough is enough, and opening your mouth, using that third chakra and opening that voice, using that voice. I know I looked on your channel too. I see you're into divination. So any of my divine sisters, I'm always going to support and respect. And
absolutely.
I have a definite respect for you. Just because of that alone, I think you're dope.
And kiss my ass, in case you want to clip this, kiss my whole entire ass, bitch.
Mine too, bitch.
Say T-Pre got him on the content, and I'm gonna get your ass in the chat, bitch.
Nah. But I mean, honestly, I will say this too, and this will be a record scratching moment. Well, I'm gonna let the rest of the ladies say what they need to say. Keeper, did you have any final words? I think you said your final words already. Money to Burn, did you have anything to say? I don't know if you're still there.
I think Money dropped off.
She's still here.
Oh, okay. Again, don't let me speak for you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say my final thoughts then. I really, really appreciate all of the powerhouse.
I'm here. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear
Yep,
me?
I'm here. Yep, go ahead.
Can you hear me? I don't know what happened.
Yep, go
I
ahead.
wanted to thank you, T Pre, for letting us come up here, speak our speech. Nice meeting you, breaking the culture of silence, and I definitely will be subscribing to your page. Appreciate your openness, and helping us to understand kind of what your situation was, the whatever Darrell and all them they're doing over there that way, that is completely disrespectful and uncalled for. And you have my full support on whatever you feel like you need to do, what actions you need to take. And Nikki, I'm glad to hear your voice. You were missed
For sure.
and
Solid bitch is back, goddamn it.
yeah. Keeper, my girl forever. Glow, all y'all, thank you so much. And I don't have a problem with people roasting. Now, if people want to roast me, they want to say, "Oh, my hair is short. I'm nappy. I'm too skinny. I'm this or that." Okay, that's an opinion, but don't lie on me. That's all I ask. Don't lie on me. And these people in this sector will straight up lie on you. So
No, it's just a select few that lie. They lie like shit.
yeah. Don't lie
so
on
much
me.
Had me believing it. Like, oh
Roast
damn,
me.
did I say that?
Right. Right, man. I can handle the chanties and the shanties and I can handle them. We got a rapport. They roast. Everybody roast, whatever. But don't
But
lie
they're not
on me.
malicious.
Yeah. Don't be malicious and don't lie on me. That's all I gotta say.
And
So,
can I do a backup after Money to Burn is finished?
oh, I'm done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and don't lie on me where it's gonna cause conflict with other people. Like, damn, you want to fight that badly? Like, get the fuck out of here. Then run up. But don't do that. So other people could come swinging. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That's cornball. And I'm just gonna say good night, farewell to you and you and you.
Oh, Carrie Ann, thanks for the super chat. I'm gonna thank you on behalf of T Free.
Really appreciate that super chat. Thank you so much. You said men don't choose women, women choose men. Absolutely.
That's right.
Any real man will say that. Men always say that. I've always heard that from my father.
Finds a woman, finds a good thing.
Yep.
I've always heard that from my father, and any real men in my life have always reinforced that to me. And that's why I have the confidence I have. That's why I don't have a problem. One thing I wanted to say, shout out to Humble King. He did do a video giving me a shout out today. And he said some points in that video that is actually very true. I have been in board meetings with all men. I'm also the vice president of the club that I'm in. And I deal with the men and the women on both sides. I am a leader in every place in my life, from my home to my job to my businesses to everything. And so it probably does stand out that I'm just a natural born leader, and I don't have a problem putting niggas in their place. Like it's definitely something that I do. But I appreciate.
And you too old to be saying shit by mistake. You mean every damn thing you say.
You motherfucker,
that's why I
right.
ride with you.
If it comes out my mouth, I meant it. That's facts. And I put intentions on everything I say.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So I really appreciate the real men out here that can see that and understand that. I support you guys as well. 100% facts I do, from Corey Slater to TMK to Humble King. There are so many men in the sector, from Carl Burton. You name the men in this sector that are strong Black men. I really appreciate you guys, and even other content creators. Some of you guys troll and play around a lot, but I have fun with y'all. Photon, Ghost. There's a lot of y'all that I really fuck with. I really want to see y'all win. You understand what I'm saying? And even you too, LV. I fuck with you, and D Darrell too. I actually fuck with y'all. But the fuckery and the fuck shit with the women, we're not tolerating that no more. Okay? And I refuse to be a part of it. I don't have to sit there and watch your shit, and I don't have to take your abuse. And I refuse to let any women sit here and say that they have to take your abuse too. No, we're not doing that in 2022 and beyond. We are taking the Black community beyond the stars. Okay? We're not doing this no more. So it's time
Ashe.
for the real men to stand up. Where the real black men at? I need y'all to stand up, stand tall, and stand strong, and we'll fight this together. And at the end, we all gonna win.
For
That's all I
sure.
gotta say. I love y'all. I really appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. It was a great, dope show. All of y'all that
Super
are in the
dope.
chat, everybody that was on the panel, it was an excellent panel. Nikki, Breaking the Culture, Money to Burn, Glorion, Keeper 116. We had Josephine. Sometimes I get carried away. We had a really dope panel tonight, and I really appreciate you guys being on. We will have probably a part 2 on this because there are some other ladies that I'd like to hear from in the sector. If you'd like to talk, as you can see, I do have it anonymous. So if you want to be anonymous, you're welcome to that. And we can always do a sneak panel. I can end the panel. Money, I did start a Discord too. So I am going to get that started with you guys and let those who I love and support know about that. It is going to be an anonymous female Discord only. And then I will also have a Black Lounge Discord for those of you who want to come out and hang out with us there as men and women, okay? But the women will have a specific place where we can come to and talk about stuff like this if we want to talk privately, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to end the show here. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Thank
And
y'all.
I'm going to play my ending song now. I really appreciate you guys for watching, okay? Thank you, guys.
Oh, the time
By
break
the
from
way,
Miss
hold on.
T-Free?
By the way,
Uh-huh.
T-Free,
Yeah.
your intro and your outro, it be knocking in my car. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's dope. That's
Black
what's up.
Lounge
She put the little
Entertainment.
beat. Yeah, see, that was like,
So
I was
the
like,
Black
okay.
Lounge.
For
So just to let you guys
T-Free.
know, the intro was composed by Dr. Bombay. So make sure y'all hit up TMK for that. He
Okay.
is excellent. That guy can put together a song in like 20 minutes. I'm dead
And
ass.
pay him for his
And pay him.
talent.
'Cause I do listen, he is worth the payment. Okay. Put that
Absolutely.
money out for my brother. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, ladies. Y'all all have a good night. I really appreciate
You
y'all. I'm gonna
too.
play the outro.
All right, y'all.
Good
See
night,
y'all.
ladies.
Love.
Later.